Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they want to do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes. This day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I want to share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away.
Sometimes we forget why we're here.
Say her name, say her
Easy to
name.
fall off track.
Clear, so they'll never forget it.
Sonya Massey. Anywhere where fear runs deep, heavy trigger cops don't think, they just leap. Over a pot of boiling water, such a shame. A coward in blue playing a deadly game. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. A life taken too soon for what crime? Just a pot of water bubbling over time. No chance to explain or make it right. In the blink of an eye, plunged into eternal night. The headlights scream of injustice and pain as we mourn another life lost in vain. The system broken, hearts shattered apart by those who should protect with courage, not dark. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In a world so unjust, Sonya Massey lost her life. Blame thrown left and right, but just to show ignite. Say her name loud and clear, let the truth be near. In the shadows of deceit, her memory we hold dear. Amidst the darkness and lies that cloud her fate. A victim of cruelty and a cruel twist of hate. Whispers of the injustice echo through the night. Sonya's spirit lingers, demanding what is right. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In the shadows of the night, Sonya stood tall. I rebuke you, in the name of Jesus she called. The officer's eyes filled with venomous spite as he dared her. And I rebuke you in the dim moonlight. Sonya pleaded for mercy on bended knees. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice filled with plea. But the officer's words cut through like a knife. A crazy bitch she spat with hatred and strife. With courage in her heart, Sonya spoke clear and bold. Her name echoed loud as the story unfolds. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the heavy trigger hitter. In the darkness of despair, a cry for help was in the air. Sonya Massey, just 36, her mental health in need of fix. But a heartless cop's cruel hand ended her life without a care. Say her name loud and clear, let it echo far and near. Justice must be served, for Sonya's unfairly taken. May her story be a beacon, shining light on lives forsaken. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. We lift our voices high to honor Sonya's name in the sky. Let it hover over their heads as a reminder of the cost of neglecting those in need and the lives that have been lost. Hey, what up, everybody? I'm hoping that y'all can hear me. Let me make sure that y'all can hear me. 1 second, 1 second. All right, I just had to make sure that the mic was working. Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all's having a blessed and humble morning. Continue to have a blessed and humble morning. Ooh, let's talk about it, right? Sonya Massey, right? Is a lot of people talking about Sonya Massey. Some are saying that, that what the cop did was just. Some are saying that, it's Sonya's fault. In my opinion, I feel like it's the officer's fault. I feel like it was a setup. Me, personally, I feel like, I don't know what happened, like, to lead to that situation. But this officer knew who Sonya was. It feels like this was premeditated. Listen, I have a question, right? A lot of people know that Sonya made the call. She thought it was a crawler in her yard or something like that, right? What if these officers was already in her yard? I mean, it's so much about this. The same officers sent her to go turn off the pot. Like, man, let's watch these clips and let's react to them. I want to know what y'all think and how y'all feel. I feel like, some real justice needs to be served. This person, the same officer that killed Sonya Massey, was hired by his own father-in-law. His girlfriend works in the hospital that Sonya Massey was in, that she was visiting. That hospital band that everybody was talking about. What did Sonya see, or what did Sonya figure out from these people, or what does she know about them? To the point that an officer, because this officer knew. There's no ifs, buts, and ands about that. Like, and then she said, when she's at the door, she says, "Oh God, please don't hurt me." Officer also asks her while he's at the door, "How's your mental health?" We're going to look at the video, right? But before we do look at the video, let's hear some of these clips.
Breaking news, so this is going to be an update on the Sonya Massey case. Now, the video cam footage and the 911 audio was released, and I must say it is jaw-dropping. Sonya was searching for her ID, but somehow couldn't find it. Meanwhile, she was doing so, there was a pot of water boiling on the stove in the kitchen. Sonya got up to take the water off the stove. A second deputy was present, and he shifted to move out of the way while Sonya removed the pot from the stove. She asked him, "Why is he moving?" And he replied that he is moving away from her hot, steaming water. She then laughed and said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Deputy Sean Grayson then said, "I bet you the F not," and pow, he unalived her right there and then. The part that got me was when Sonya Massey is there laying on the floor and Deputy Sean Grayson told the other officer that there is no need to go grab the emergency kit because it was a head pow. He even mentioned that he won't be wasting his medical kit on the situation. This is just unimaginable. I will keep you guys updated.
Oh, it completely took me off the little list I had. Oh, no, it didn't. All right.
So when Sonya's daughter said her mother told her that the police would take her life, made me realize that it's way deeper than we thought it was. It's only two ways that Sonya could have known this, but the last one you probably gonna think I'm crazy. But the first reason is she knew somebody was coming after her, or a group of people was coming after her, right? That's probably why her.
See, if y'all pay attention to the conference when the parents spoke, right, and the son spoke, the lawyer spoke, a lot was said. If y'all pay attention to all the evidence that has been put out, a lot has been said. So if y'all pay attention to all that, connect the dots, whoa. Sonya Massey knew that, listen, somehow, some way, Sonya's spirit knew that that was going to be her last day here on this earth. The body camera footage and audio both caught that. As soon as she opened the door, she said, "Oh God, please don't hurt me." Hey, why it's not playing? What the hell's going on?
So when Sonya's daughter said her mother told her that the police would take her life, made me realize that it's way deeper than we thought it was. It's only two ways that Sonya could have known this, but the last one you probably gonna think I'm crazy. But the first reason is she knew somebody was coming after her, or a group of people was coming after her, right? That's probably why her first encounter with the officer, she said, "What? Please don't hurt me." And since she told her daughter that the police would take her life, that's probably why she kept on panicking in the video when she kept saying, "Please, God, please, God, please, God." And the way that her daughter described things, it was like Sonya was trying to let her know, like, listen, this is what's going to happen. Now, this is the part where y'all might think I'm crazy at, but hear me out, though. I'm not trying to start no, like, spiritual conspiracy, but just hear me out. A lot of people keep forgetting that a lot of us are gifted spiritually. When you be having that gut feeling, that's a spiritual gift. For example, the only reason why I'm still here today is because of dreams. Dreams actually saved my life, and I'm not joking. To the people that know me from way back, I done shared the story of when I was in Chicago doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. I got into it with a couple of guys, but it was this one guy in particular that I couldn't stand. Like, I really wanted this man wiped off the face of the earth, and he felt the same way about me. Long story short, the girl that I just met and I was talking to at the time, me and her, spent the night at my mom's house. She woke me up by touching my face, and she looked like she was very, like, I don't know, like, worried. So I asked her, I'm like, what's wrong with you? She tells me that she just had a dream that somebody took my life. And you know what's crazy about that? I just had a dream somebody took my life. Two more scary parts. One, both of our dreams was very similar, very similar. The crazy part is I had a dream that he took my life on my mother's back porch. She had a dream that he took my life in front of my mother. But similar situations, I was trying.
Blessings, Realist. Blessings, how you doing? Yo, why is it like, what in the world is going on?
So when Sonya's daughter said her mother took on my mother's back porch, she had a dream that he took my life in front of my mother. But similar situations, I was trying to get away from him, and he just caught me. Now, the other crazy part about her dream is that she named somebody's name that I never even told her about in the dream. That literally freaked me out. I went to my mom and I told her, and my mom said, look, we just gonna pray about it. That whole time, it didn't sit with me. And I asked God, I said, God, I do not want to die. But if you're trying to send me signs, send me a sign where it was so powerful that I can't deny it. And guess what God did? He sent me that very sign. Y'all, we drove to my grandmother's house, right? And when we drove to my grandmother's house, my grandmother just came out of nowhere and said, yeah, something bothering me. I've been having this weird dream. Me and the girl both looked at each other like, oh my God. So the girl I was with was like, yeah, what's the dream about? And my grandma said, I had a dream that I was going to a family member funeral, and I don't know who it was. It was somebody in my family, but the casket was closed because they said the person was in the face. Connect the dots on that. The douche, me in my face when I turned around in my dream. And remember, the girl I was with had a similar dream. So that's why it would be a closed casket. And this is the part that give me chills still to this day. Sometimes I even get emotional telling this story. My grandmother said the weird part of that dream was she didn't understand why they picked the color of the casket. And the color of the casket was green. And guess what my favorite color is? Green. Some of us have spiritual gifts that we cannot explain. And whether you believe in God or not, you still gonna have that spiritual gift. Now, there are certain things that can heighten your spiritual gifts, and you can be more in tune with the Most High or God. But when that young lady said that, I had to share this. And I'm not crazy. Literally, it is a spiritual world. It's good versus evil. And another reason why I believe this was a spiritual situation is because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And what she told her daughter the whole time came to pass. And a lot of people forget that a spiritual warfare happens before a physical one do. But that's just my beliefs. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure y'all.
So How many of y'all think that it was a spiritual warfare? I mean, I still feel like it's a setup. I don't know if me and him are on the same, page. I feel like it's a big setup, but I feel like the spirit inside of Sonya knew what was going to happen. Either she foreseen this, she dreamed it, like he said. Some people dream their future. She could have felt it. I mean, listen, man. So a lot of us got, inner witch in us. We could foresee the future, but I mean, he's not wrong on what he's saying. She carried a spirit in her.
The last thing my mom told me when she talked to me is that she gave me specific names. I won't tell y'all, but she did.
Well, like, when was the last time you sat down just to have a conversation with a group of Black people, Garrett?
To be honest with you, I don't know that I've ever had a conversation with a group of Black people.
Yeah, I would say that proximity breeds care and distance breeds fear. Proximity breeds care and distance breeds fear. And I think one of the issues in our society is there's not enough proximity between people who don't look like each other. And because there's not enough proximity, there's a lack of care or lack of empathy. And there is a heightened amount of fear. Well, like, when was the last time you sat down just to have a conversation with a group of Black people, Garrett?
To be honest with you, I don't know that I've ever had.
I think I'm gonna save that video for the end because it's not. It's not speaking on Sonya Massey. Give me a second. My bad. I don't even know why it's in the list.
He should have never had a gun. He should have never been given the opportunity to kill my child because he had some serious blemishes on his record. Serious. This man had 2 convictions for DUI. He should have never had a gun. He should have never been given the opportunity to kill my child because
and for those of y'all that don't know, this is the name of the officer's girlfriend, fiance, who shot Sonya Massey. Her name is Isabel Butterfield. I have a video that I'm going to get to as soon as I get back to the StreamYard. I'm going to get to that video in a second. A guy breaks down the information, the link between Sonya Massey, Isabel Butterfield, and Sean Grayson.
Have you ever heard the saying that silence in the face of injustice is injustice in action? Folks, a few days ago, I made a post about the facts that have come out in this murder, the body-worn camera, what we saw. I broke down what I felt like was a fair analysis of what the officer did wrong and how it was criminal and how the evidence points to one direction, and that's that he should and will be found guilty of murder whenever the time for justice comes. I never could have imagined that that video would be viewed more than 100,000 times and that I would be praised so loudly by so many members of this digital community. And so at the request of several people, I'm going to provide an update on some of the facts that have come out since I made that post. Now, I have made subsequent posts that have to deal with the possible punishment range that the alleged murderer, the officer involved here, may face. I also went over the red flags that the agency would have known. Now I'll touch a little bit on what is coming out from the police department, what was known as far as calls for service and calls for help based on some information provided by Miss Massey's mother, and what the law enforcement agency should have known and should have done to prevent this from ever happening. Before I get into telling y'all about all the new records that have come out, first let me acknowledge that I see a lot of the comments that mention how refreshing it is that a white male is telling the truth and speaking the truth on all this. And folks, I just want you to know, I don't even see myself like that. All I see myself is another human who's empathizing with a crime that was committed, with a tragedy, with the taking of a life of a beautiful woman. And for me, I understand that everybody has an experience, and my experience in America is not going to match a lot of y'all's who've come into the comments and acknowledged that, because for you, where you're from, it's not normal. You're obviously not used to seeing it, and you're grateful that you're seeing it in the digital realm. For me, I've seen I've seen some of that. I've experienced some of that. I have a Puerto Rican mama. I've lived in an area that is predominantly white where she was discriminated against. I've also moved down to the border of Mexico at a portion of my life where I was the minority being a pale man and faced some discrimination, yet I know it pales in comparison to Black Americans in the United States of America. So please understand this. While I appreciate all those kind sentiments, all the nice words that were said, that's not the focus of my discussion. The focus of my discussion is not going to be racial. It's just simply going to be that what happened was horribly wrong, disgustingly wrong, was criminally wrong, and that whoever did it deserves to be held accountable. All right, before I get too emotional here, I want to get into the facts. And so there's been some new records that have come out. And part of these records are right in line with what Donna Massey said had happened the days before leading up to Sonya Massey's murder. Donna Massey is Sonya Massey's mother, and she came out and provided information that we have now to kind of further assess the situation. Miss Massey stated that she was calling 911 on different parts of July 5th because her daughter was going through having mental health issues and breakdowns. She specifically told the dispatcher
Give me a minute, Riaz.
that her daughter
I didn't know
wasn't
you was
in
in the
danger,
backstage.
not to
I'm not
herself,
on
not to others,
StreamYard
but
right
she was
now.
having
I
these
got the
mental
StreamYard
breakdowns
open,
that they
but
needed
I'm over
help.
here dealing with a
And I
couple
believe
things,
that
multitasking.
somewhere else in the
Just
article,
give me a
she
minute, all right?
specifically mentions that they need an officer. They're afraid of officers, and they need an officer who's not going to harm her. And so I don't know how Sangamon County operates with law enforcement, but it's clear that these people were wanting to communicate that they felt that law enforcement was not safe. That shouldn't be the case anywhere in this whole country. We should always be able to call 911 for help, but they were communicating that they did not feel safe. And I just find that very relevant and very important that they had already foreshadowed that these issues could possibly occur based on her mental health issue and possibly based on racial dimensions in that area where they live. I don't know. I don't live there, but I understand that that may have been a concern for Donna Massey, and she communicated it. So this is where things get incredibly interesting as far as the history goes, because this news article on CNN supports that the county knew about her continuing mental health issues. In fact, they state that the dispatch records support that Miss Massey had talked with a mobile crisis unit 3 times in the previous 2 weeks. And so she was known to the county, to the sheriff's office, as being somebody who necessitated talks, who necessitated help, who was appropriate for this mobile crisis team that I'm assuming exists within the sheriff's department, and that was the way to go because it had happened before. And then we see at St. John's Hospital, which some of you have pointed out in the comments that she had been at the hospital either the day before or earlier in the day, that they state that she spoke to a sheriff's deputy and reportedly admitted to breaking her own window. What I find extremely interesting here is that many of you have belief that the officer, the deputy who she interacted with, was the same deputy who shot and murdered her. Unfortunately, in this article, with the records provided, it does not clarify which sheriff deputy that she spoke with. Some of you have commented on the use of the term 1096. I will say I think some of your analysis is off because here it clarifies that that's a code for mental health problems. And so I'd seen some comments that made it seem like a 1096 may have been code for something else. It's what they use for mental health problems, okay? Bottom line here, what to take from here is that Miss Massey and her mother had been communicating with the county and let them know, and they were on notice that she had mental health issues. In fact, they serviced her for mental health issues both the day before, the days leading up, and the weeks leading up to her murder. They were on notice. I also think that this is worth noting. In the article, they actually used some expert opinions. So they got some statements from the International Association of Chiefs of Police, and they specifically say that when you're dealing with somebody in a mental health crisis and there's some concerns with their mental health, that officers are trained to use special skills, techniques, and abilities to effectively and appropriately resolve the situation while minimizing violence. This is part of the best practices for law enforcement. This is the standard. And we know that officers are not going to diagnose somebody with a mental health condition, but they are trained to identify them. they are trained to handle them in a way without violence, which is the opposite of what we saw the deputy do on that date, July 6, 2024, with Sonya Massey. In fact, he would have been far from the best practices with the way that he escalated, pulled his gun, threatened her, let her know his intent, pulled the trigger not once, not twice, but 3 times, and shot her in the head. And so we're as far as can be from best practices based on what the experts provide in this news article. Now, the best thing the sheriff has done is at least acknowledge that they messed up horribly, because he's already making the civil case easy for the civil attorney, saying that their department messed up. But in the same breath, by saying that his department messed up, we have to take him at his word.
The
And
same
what we
sheriff
do
that hired
when
him?
leadership fails is we replace leadership. He's refusing to step down. He's trying to, in fact, scapegoat and provide a reason for why he hired this Deputy Grayson despite his failings at another police agency. And I'll get to that in a minute. But really what I want to show is the rhetoric that he uses, stating that he feels betrayed. Well, you're feeling betrayed by your own deputies, yet you're the man that hired them. You betrayed us. They didn't betray you. You
He feels
all
betrayed by
betrayed
his son-in-law.
us. You're horrified by it, yet you were the one responsible for making the decision that put the badge and gun on him. Unacceptable. I know I feel like he probably truly is a good guy who's served valiantly throughout the years, and he's probably being truthful with how he feels, but regardless, you are responsible, and a price comes with that. So often in life, we hear this phrase over and over: it's not what you know, it's who you know. And Sheriff Campbell has let us know that that was exactly the case behind the hiring of Deputy Grayson. See, after he admitted to more or less the department through his employees being at fault and being betrayed and something horrible happening and feeling disgusted and all those strong rhetoric words, he tells us, yeah, I didn't know him, but I interviewed him because I had a former deputy who said that he was dating his daughter. It's right there. He wrote that daughter was dating Grayson. And that's all it took. He never should have been hired. His personnel file from the prior agency showed that he was not fit for service. Folks, my name's Mike Hansen. If you got this far, I'm the Texas Dad Lawyer. The only thing we can do in matters like this is speak up and share our voice. So please reshare this. Please follow me. Please comment.
The state's biggest argument was that he is a flight risk and a threat to the community. Now, the state's job is to be able to prove that burden to the judge, and the judge did believe that they did. So looking at my notes, the state argued that no combination of conditions or pretrial release conditions, that is, would be acceptable and would be able to help limit that risk of him being a threat to the community. They also said that former Deputy Grayson did have the option to choose different items in his tool belt. He could have chosen a taser, but instead he had chosen the weapon he did. Therefore,
so true.
That was contributing to the argument that it was a risk. And they said that, and actually, let me phrase it this way: court documents that we received prior to the hearing said that former Deputy Grayson did not help Sonya Massey. The other deputy that we don't know the name of actually did. Now, the prosecution, that is, says that that was a big telling factor in his character to the judge. And ultimately, the judge did agree with them. The prosecution, that is, that he should be denied pretrial release. The state's biggest argument was that he is a flight risk and a threat to the community. Now, the state's job is to be able to prove.
All right. Oh shit, Riaz is in the background. I did not know Riaz was still back there, yo. Yo. Blessings, Riaz. I did not know you was back there, yo. Here trying to get these videos together. Hold up, my bad. I was not on the StreamYard, so I do apologize. I see the chat from the phone. Yo, blessings, Riaz. You still there? Oh shit. All right. I'll see Riaz in a little bit, but let me continue. My bad, Riaz. I didn't know you was back there still. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let's get on to these clips real quick, all right? So I had the video right here. Boom. So what I want to do is real quick, right? This video right here is censored. Then I'm gonna get to the other bull. Here we go. So we're gonna look at the video once again. It's my StreamYard. I got a whole bunch of tabs open. All right, so we're gonna look at the video once again, right? We're gonna see how everything happened. We're gonna hear it. This one is it's got the little sensor thingy on it, right? And then we're gonna look at another video that another guy has because he slows it down, right? And he breaks it down. And I want y'all to see that they were not all straight headshots. This man, when he had the audio off, right? He didn't have the audio off. I'm saying it wrong. I'm mixing up the little timelines. This man, as he was getting closer to her, he probably had a headshot first, right? But in the video, you also see him give a chest shot. Like, I don't know if she has the pot in her hand and she's going like this, right? But she has a chest shot. Like she has like a white shirt on and it's clear 1 minute and the next minute you see a red spot on that. All right. So let's look at this real quick. So in the beginning, we're not going to hear no audio, none whatsoever until he gets to the little shed, that little wooden shed right there. And this is why I was saying, like, what if, because when she answers the door and she's telling them that she's trying to get, she was getting her clothes on. That's what took her so long and stuff like that. I mean, I have questions, right? And I'm not the only one with questions. Other people got questions, maybe the same type of questions that I do, probably even more, right? What if these officers were already searching the premises or were already looking around? Like, my question is, right, how did they get there so fast? Like, y'all want to see why I got all these questions, but I want y'all to pay attention when they're talking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little forward. Yeah, all right. He's already past the shed so that we can hear everything. So let's listen carefully to the conversation, guys, when we get to, the door, the knocking, Sonya Massey answering the door. He all over the place. Like, they've been searching for a minute, right? Thanks. No searching.
He said, oh boy, no. That one.
Be knocking now. Pay attention.
There's a bike sitting back there. Where? On the back door. I don't know if it's hers. Oh, I'll tap it. So it's more. Very nice to make contact with us because someone threw a brick to it.
See, I think he said 1019 right there or some shit like that. He said something. He gave a code right there and then. So my thing is that these officers knew she had mental health issues from the gate. When they took that call, they knew that she had some type of mental health and they're trained to deal with the situation. So why did these officers even decide to enter the premises once they seen that she was paranoid instead of calling for an ambulance to come?
You want to try and call her 17 back here and let her know we're out front? Yes, that's set up good. I hear the phone ringing. You didn't see anybody out walking that way, did you? No, not when I came in. I didn't see anybody that way. I hear her phone ringing and she's refusing to come to the door, so we're about to go tonight.
And peep how this officer already has an attitude.
Oh, let's hope not.
Peep him. He has an attitude already from the gate.
Is this a ring doorbell? Yeah, it doesn't work though. Sheriff's office. Two houses down. I think. Oh no, it's a. Drugs up. Go ahead.
All right, guys, give me 1 second. I gotta pause it right here because I'm gonna go grab something to drink. Give me 1 second. I do apologize.
Say her name, loud and clear, so they'll never forget it.
Sonya Massey. Anywhere where fear runs deep, heavy trigger cops don't think, they just leap. Over a pot of boiling water, such a shame. A coward in blue playing a deadly game. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger heavy hitter. A life taken too soon for what crime? Just a pot of water bubbling over time. No chance to explain or make it right. In the blink of an eye, plunged into eternal night. The headlights scream of injustice and pain as we mourn another life lost in vain. The system broken, hearts shattered apart by those who should protect with courage, not dark. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In a world so unjust, Sonya Massey lost her life. Blame thrown left and right, but just to show ignite. Say her name loud and clear, let the truth be near. In the shadows of deceit, her memory we hold dear. Amidst the darkness and lies that cloud her fate. A victim of cruelty and a cruel twist of hate. Whispers of the injustice echo through the night. Sonya's spirit lingers, demanding what is right. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In the shadows of the night, Sonya stood tall. I rebuke you, in the name of Jesus she called. The officer's eyes filled with venomous spite as he dared her. And I rebuke you in the dim moonlight. Sonya pleaded for mercy on bended knees. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice filled with plea. But the officer's words cut through like a knife. A crazy bitch, she spat with hatred and strife. With courage in her heart, Sonya spoke clear and bold. Her name echoed loud as the story unfolds. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the heavy trigger hitter. In the darkness of despair, a cry for help was in the air. Sonya Massey, just 36, her mental health in need of fix. But a heartless cop's cruel hand ended her life without a care. Say her name loud and clear, let it echo far and near. Justice must be served, for Sonya's unfairly taken. May her story be a beacon, shining light on lives forsaken. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. We lift our voices high to honor Sonya's name in the sky. Let it hover over their heads as a reminder of the cost of neglecting those in need and the lives that have been lost.
All right, my bad, my bad. I had to, go listen to drink, and I don't know how people do our lives, and when I go to the bathroom, I had to go pee real quick. I'm sorry, shit. So I had to pause for 1 second and go do what I had to do. But I want y'all to pay close attention to the conversation that starts off between the officer and Sonya Massey.
She was yelling inside. Just hold on. You come in the door or not? All right. Hurry up. Bud. Sheriff's office, the one you called.
He said, Sheriff's office, the one you called. Fucking smart ass.
Somebody is out here and I need to go help. Please don't hurt me, y'all.
How did it hurt you? You called us.
Okay.
So what'd you hear?
Somebody keeps outside my house, y'all. Please,
Is this your card over here?
please, God, please, God.
You hear it? Please, God, please, God. But when she first came out, she said, oh, God, please don't hurt me.
Somebody is out here and I need to go help. Please don't hurt me, y'all.
How did it hurt you? You called us.
Okay, please.
So what'd you hear?
Somebody keeps outside my house, y'all.
She says, please don't hurt me. I'm trying to rewind it back to, but I can't rewind it back on this, John. Maybe I should have, I should have did this on my Cyberlink. That's what I should have did. I should have put the video on the Cyberlink and they did it there, because on there I can rewind back and y'all can hear perfectly what she's saying.
Somebody is out here, and I need to tell you, please don't hurt me, y'all.
Oh, it hurts.
She said, please don't hurt me, y'all.
Somebody is out here, and I need to tell you, please don't hurt me, y'all.
Oh, it hurts you. You called us.
Okay, please.
So what'd you hear?
Somebody keeps outside my house, y'all. Please.
She said, we're not going to hurt you. You called us. So what you hear? Right? So she's explaining to him the situation, right? But peep how she said, Selena. Well, he didn't say Selena. I mean, she didn't. Oh, man. My bad. Let me go shout out to Selena. Damn. My bad. I just noticed Selena was in the chat. Shout out to Selena. Make sure y'all go check out Miss Selena, y'all. But as soon as she came out the door, she said, oh God, please don't hurt me. Like you felt that. You could hear it. I don't know if y'all heard it, but I heard it. Then he says, we're not gonna hurt you. You called us. So what did you hear?
Somebody is out here, and I need to tell you, please don't hurt me, y'all.
Oh, it hurts you. You called us.
Okay, please.
So what'd you hear?
Somebody keeps outside my house, y'all. Please,
Is this your car over here?
please, God, please.
Is this your car over here? Oh,
Please, God.
that's not your black car in the driveway? Oh, well, we checked your yard. We walked around the whole block. We didn't see anybody. Right? You know, we don't. We checked the whole area. There's nobody out walking around.
I know, y'all. Please, God. I'm trying to get help, y'all, but
What do you need help with?
See?
nothing. I just, please, God. I don't know what to do.
Do with what?
She wants help. She just doesn't want help from this specific cop. And she's saying it. And she's on the phone trying to get help. And if y'all notice, I can't zoom it in on here. But if I was on my phone, I know I could have zoomed it in. Let me see. Would it get any bigger? No. Y'all notice she does have a hospital band on her wrist.
What do you need help with?
Nothing. I just wanted to see if I could help me.
What do you want help with?
Huh?
What do you want help with?
Blessings, Van D Gaming. Blessings, how you doing this morning? Blessings to everybody in the chat.
I heard somebody outside.
Yeah, we checked your house. We checked your backyard. I walked all the way through all these backyards. We checked your front yard.
We didn't see nobody.
Yeah,
So.
nobody's out here.
You didn't see anybody?
Nope. We checked the whole area.
Okay.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to get.
I got you. All right.
So, right, he said, what took you so long to answer the door? She said, I was trying to put on some clothes, right? And, you know, she has a hospital band. I mean, there's so many questions that I have, right? Because she had walked out the hospital, came home. You see where I'm coming from? Did she discharge herself from the hospital? You know, came home, got comfortable, and heard somebody knocking. But then again, like if you heard somebody, I hear me knocking. If you heard somebody in your yard or something like that, you would get dressed, right? But then she's paranoid. I mean, it's so many ways this can go, right? But she's also paranoid. Then the crazy thing about it is, right? I can go about this another way. This guy's wife works at the hospital that she was in prior to this incident. Did she hear something? Did she see something? And, you know, that they notice it and, you know, they came after her. And that's why she was in there. She was calling the cops and she's thinking that, you know, how did they get there so fast? They knew it was a mental health call. They was allegedly trained for this, but handled the situation completely different, right? I mean, I got so many questions. I can go about this in so many ways, so many theories, but let's keep watching and then maybe we could, you know, solve the case together if it isn't already solved, which I doubt. It's like, it's so many theories out there, but what's crazy is it's clear as daylight that it was a setup. This officer came here with premeditated murder on his mind. He had murder on his mind.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
Huh?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You doing all right?
Right there, he should have left. Right when he said, "Is there anything else we could do for you?" He said, "No, no." She said, "No, no, it's all right." Right? He could have walked off. Right? Went to his car, called it in, saying, "Well, I think she's paranoid. I think and we should send an ambulance over here to come." Somebody is a little more trained than this officer, because they will send an ambulance and they'll have somebody that's really trained to deal with somebody that's paranoid, schizophrenic. Trust me. I mean, I've been around it. I've seen it. I've dealt with it. But he didn't do that. Listen to what he says.
Mentally?
Yes.
Sure.
My medicine and stuff.
All right.
All right. Listen.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure.
My medicine and stuff.
All right.
You doing that? You doing all right mentally? She said, yes. I took my medicine and stuff. If he didn't know her, how does he know that she got mental health issues? But then again, when they called it out, they gave a specific code, right? But it's a little different in that question, the way he asked it. Why he didn't ask that in the beginning? He went around asking her, other questions, then went to that question when that should have been the first question he asked.
Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right. That's not your black car though. That's SUV.
He
Who's
should have
this?
left. He should have left.
You don't
Why
know?
didn't he
Someone
leave?
Parked it in your driveway.
They brought it to my driveway.
And just left it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's run that.
Yeah. 19, I got a 20 clear.
Does anyone else live here with you?
Somebody else.
David Mary 43556.
You got a name? You got an idea or something? Take your name real quick. Attach this. See who we spoke to.
She on the phone again. You heard the phone ringing? She calling somebody now. I think she's calling her mom, her daughter, or she's calling the cops again.
Several.
Look, he goes in. Pete. So this is where I was asking her for the ID and all that stuff. And this officer walk away. Pay attention, guys.
I know you're already here. Hello? Yeah, I need I got the sheriff department here, but I was calling for help from y'all.
I got the sheriff's department here, but I want some help from y'all. I mean, all the signs were there.
They're here in my house right now.
Okay, hold on, you talk to them.
No, hold on, wait a second, sir.
You can hang up, Todd. Let's go.
For what? You're there with the deputy, correct?
No, hold on, okay?
You can hang
Hold
up.
on for what?
She kept watching the officer every time he kept moving. She told the boy on the phone, hold on. She didn't want this officer's assistance. Was she scared to speak in front of him? Did she know something? How did this officer get there so fast? Huh?
Just 1 second, okay?
He goes back into the room.
What's up?
I got some paperwork. Can you grab that Bible, please?
I feel like the second officer knew what was going to happen. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he knows what's going to happen. And I think he thought he was going to be slick by keeping the camera on. I don't think this officer knew that his camera was on. Like, it's crazy. And if he knew what was going to happen, he should be charged.
Yeah. Hey, I just need your name so we can get out of here. Was there any damage previous to your car?
Previous, yeah, it was.
Okay, what was the damage?
A dent, I believe.
Well, what about windows?
Oh, it was something that happened earlier.
Okay, perfect. What is your last name? Shouldn't have to think about your last name. You're not in trouble. I just need to attach.
Massey.
Huh?
Massey.
You have an ID that makes things so much easier.
See, she gave him the name right there. He should have just took it. Like they knew she had mental health issues. Why not take the information and get out the house? They see there's nobody there. It's something more, right? Straight from the gate. Like, listen, man, I didn't see the video until that live that I was doing a couple days back. And shout out to Commander Alpha Turkey, because she sent me the link to somebody that was reviewing the video. And that was the first time that I really saw the video, not a clip. You know that a lot of people were showing clips. No, that was the first time I actually saw the whole video, the normal way, and then slow down. Like, this shit is crazy. It's like these officers. And if you pay attention, look how they're setting themselves up. Pay attention to how they were setting themselves up.
Just driver's license will do, and I'll get out of your hair.
Pay attention, because it's gonna go down soon.
I will look at your paperwork.
What paperwork?
I got some paperwork.
Well, just get your ID.
Well, let's get your ID first, and then
one task at a time here.
Okay. Let me.
So I guess she was gonna show them the paperwork of her getting released from the hospital. But peep how she got her eyes on the officer.
Here, grab your ID for me.
Okay.
Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can dig around for your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
you have that stack right there, maybe.
1 second.
Peep. I'm gonna put it back a little bit. I hate doing it because you can't rewind on YouTube. I wish it could. But peep how the officer points to the kitchen, to the other officer.
And you can dig around for your paperwork.
Pay attention, guys.
you have that stack right there.
Look at the officer. Watch. Look, he tells them to look at the kitchen. This officer goes into the kitchen.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Right.
Good. They send her into the kitchen. We don't need a fire around here.
Huh?
Where you going?
Wait for your hot.
She pours the water out there. That's where she pours the water at. Listen. Oh, shit. Look. Listen.
Huh?
Y'all heard it?
Wait for your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
She turns the sink on.
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay.
This is where he's about to. Yo, this is crazy, Pete. She said, I rebuke you. So he gets mad over and I rebuke you. Yeah, she was paranoid schizophrenic. But here's my thing, right? She was no threat to him at all. Pay attention. And I think she pours the water out. So shout out to the thumb lady. I spoke to her on Kwame Brown's panel, and she did say she thinks she emptied out the water into that bucket way before the officer shoots her. And that's why we see the steam on the floor and stuff, because I think when she falls, and yes, there's a bucket there. Let me see. Y'all gonna see it when this officer goes this way.
Grab that Bible, please.
Yeah.
Watch,
Hey, I
pay
just need your
attention.
name so we can get out of here. Was there
There's
any
the
damage
bucket right
previous
there.
to your car?
Previous, yeah. It was
Okay, what was the damage?
a dent, I believe.
But what about windows?
Oh, it was something that happened earlier.
Okay, perfect. What is your last name? Shouldn't have to think about your last name. You're not in trouble. I just need to touch.
Massey.
Huh?
Massey.
You have an ID that makes things so much easier. I just need just driver's license will do, and I'll get out of your hair.
I want to show y'all my paperwork.
I will look at your paperwork.
What paperwork?
Okay. I got some paperwork.
Well, just get your ID.
Well, let's get your ID first, and then
one task at a time here.
Okay. Let me
Here, grab your ID for me.
Okay.
Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can dig around for.
She was all over the place. These officers knew what they was doing. Yo, like, they was setting her up. This officer right here talking to her, next to her, he knew her.
Your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
you have that stack right there, maybe.
Pay attention. Look, go to the kitchen. He sends them over. They tell her to go turn off the pot.
Fire while we're here.
Right.
Look. She moves it over. You hear her pour the water out.
Away from your hot steaming water.
So she poured that in the bucket.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh? You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot! Drop
An empty pot.
the fucking pot!
19 shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the fucking pot!
Yep. So listen, man, if y'all heard it clearly, right? I don't know how many of y'all heard that John clearly, right? When she picked up that pot while they was talking, she poured the water out. You heard the water getting poured out. You hear it, right? I'm gonna put the video of the guy that breaks this John down. We're gonna play his video. He really breaks this John down. And it's not the same guy from the link that Commander sent me, yo. This shit is crazy. Yo, so it looks like she poured the water into the bucket, and when they started shooting, she fell, and when she fell, she tilted that water over, and that's where you see the steam and the water coming out. That's what it looks like.
Bring emails now. We got a headshot wound to the female. Headshot wound to the female. 1078. Fuck.
This is blurred, guys. It's blurred, but I want the video is gonna be blurred. It's gonna blur out the blood. It's gonna blur out the stuff. But I want y'all to listen to these two officers, especially when one of the officers, well, yeah, the one with the camera goes to the car.
I'm gonna go get my kit.
Now, if you headshot, dude, you're done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. God damn it.
She's done, but they still got their guns pointed out, huh?
God, fuck.
Yeah, I'm not taking fucking boiling water in the fucking head. And look, it fucking came right to our feet, too. God damn.
I'm not taking no boiling water up to the fucking head. Look, that water came up to our feet, too. But my thing is that while you was talking to her, you saw her pour that water out. See, there's a reason he had his camera on. And there's a reason that this guy got in the angle that he got into. Peep it. This officer pointed at the kitchen while the other officer, right? When the other officer came to the kitchen, told her to go turn off the water because they don't want to start a fire. They sent her over there. And she had already poured out the water. I want y'all to really pay attention. She poured out that water.
One second.
Check on her.
Look at the bucket on the floor.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Look, right there. That's where she pours the water. Mix it up. Listen.
Huh?
She poured it out.
Away from your hot steaming water.
And she's getting more water.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot!
Look.
Drop the fucking pot!
19 shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the fucking pot!
He's still screaming, drop the fucking pot. But she's down.
Bring emails now. We got a headshot wound to the female. Headshot wound to the female. 1078.
They know they wrong. They know they wrong.
I was on. I'm gonna go get my kit.
Now, if you headshot, dude, you're done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. God damn it.
God, fuck.
Yeah, I'm not taking fucking boiling water in the fucking head. And look, it fucking came right to our feet, too. God damn it.
Fuck. God damn it.
You good?
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. What's she got? Let her fucking just...
God.
Is that what you do, man?
Fuck.
You good?
All right. Fuck.
He know why he keep asking if they good. They had this shit planned. I'm telling you. But the bull was scared.
Well, I mean, you know, what else do we do? I'm not taking hot boiling water to the fucking face, and it already reached us.
He lying. He saw her pour that water. I heard her pour that water out. I heard it, yo. She poured that fucking water out the pot. The water that was on the floor was from the bucket. Bullshit. Nigga dying out his ass.
They got a 52 en route?
Yeah, 1078. She's still breathing, but she's losing a lot of blood from the head.
But then he looking in the room again. Aren't you going to go get your kit?
I'll go get my med kit. Go get, yeah, hurry, get your med kit.
I mean, there's not much we can do.
We can at least try and stop the blood.
I think she was still alive. Look, she had poured that water into the bucket. Y'all see the water in the bucket? I wish I could zoom it in. Look, there's water in the bucket. Anybody that missed it, I did hear it. She did pour that water in the bucket. So I think she had water from the sink on that water that she was getting. That water that was in the pot probably was water from the sink or water from the sink spilled. But that hot ass steaming water was like, this shit is crazy. I don't know, but this water's not steaming. So no, the bucket didn't tilt. I think she's still alive. I think she's still alive. We'll fast forward a little bit.
She's still gasping a little bit.
She's alive. She's still gasping a little bit. She was alive.
You want to hand me another rag up there? Up there, to your right. Right there.
Is there anything you can do before? No. All right. I'm not even going to waste my med stuff then.
Was she still alive? That's a big
You wanna run down real
question.
quick?
Wow.
Nope, not yet. All right.
See, they never showed this whole video all the way like this. Everybody that has reviewed the video has stopped it before this. So I'm glad they got the little blur in here.
House is clear. She was the only one.
Where's the gun?
No, she had boiling water and came at me with boiling water.
You shot her?
Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came at me with boiling water. That's what all this is. I'm standing right here.
She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came at me with boiling water. She never came at him with boiling water. Did y'all see her run towards him? Did y'all see her throw the pot of boiling water at him?
Here. All right. That's where she's landed.
What do you only for a moment?
Just nothing right now. Just hang out.
I mean,
You still want me holding this pressure?
Yeah. EMS is coming.
She's still gasping.
Okay.
She's still alive. If she's gasping, she's still alive.
Not that I can tell, no.
before we'll move fast.
I can't feel one. Go ahead and have them short. No, this crime scene. Stay out.
Crime scene, stay out. That's what somebody said. There's a crime scene, stay out.
Came out of make contact. You can't, don't move that. You can't.
Kind of move this pocket behind you? Yeah, you're fine. I can't feel an exit wound. I'm not sure. I haven't seen one either.
Okay. Don't move that back.
Do we know what caliber weapons you shot with?
9
9
mil.
millimeter.
Okay. Right back, where let's go.
What are you trying to grab?
Where do you want to go?
There. I would say we just need to grab her, bring her up over the blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need me out of your way?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take what you got there, man.
Hey, County, do we have any idea who she is?
We were trying to ID her.
I think her name is Sonya. I think we were out there earlier.
I want to call her.
What's the chances you could call her and check with
Somebody in the state.
How are you, sir? What happened? It's a.
Where is he going? He was parked all the way over here. Why were they parked all the way over there? Damn. Why were they parked so far away from the house? Like, they took the call. Why didn't they park in front of the house? Yo, something is really off. Like, I know a lot of people was defending the second officer, but I feel as though that the second officer was about to ride or die for the first officer. He probably thought he could have played this shit off, and that's why he kept his camera on. Like, on some real shit. He thought he could, like, yo, they both deserve time behind bars. And not no little 20 years, 30 years. They need life behind bars. Either that or let street justice get them. Yeah, you know you guilty. You right there praying. Breathe. You know you wrong. His hands are shaking and everything. He know he wrong. You shot an innocent woman. What you did should haunt you for the rest of your life. This man should have nightmares for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks, so.
It's a guilty conscience for you, yo. Guilty conscience.
What's up, buddy? You good? Yeah. All right, come here. What's this? All right, turn that off.
Yo, he just noticed that his partner had the camera on. He said, "What's this?" Yo, turn that off. Y'all peep that shit? He just peeped that his partner had the camera on. He said, "Yo, turn that off." So this is supposed to be body camera number 2, right? And on this one, we're allegedly supposed to slow it down. And the slowest that it'll go is 0.25, right? So let's really look at it. And his body cam has no audio. Which she puts the pot down. But this is water that she got from the sink. Because if y'all remember body cam number 1, you hear her pouring the water that she had in the pot when she moved it from the sink, right? And as you can see, she's removing this pot of water from the sink. She ducks down, but she has no pot of water, right? He's closer. He gets closer. Look. Okay. So you see her throw it. She does throw it. She does throw the water, but it's in self-defense. Yo, it's crazy. Okay, let's look at it. I'm so glad I found this video like this. Oh shit, he already shot her here. Not too far. I have to wait until she does it in order to pause it so that y'all can see what I'm trying to say. Look. She lets the pot go. Gloves in her hands. Well, mitts. She was down. He's getting closer and closer. Right? Right here. Look. She's coming up. Y'all see her? I just paused it. She's right there. Right there. Look. The pot is over her head. Y'all see it? I need to know if y'all see this, John, man. Hold on, let me go to StreamYard. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see the pot over her head? But see, the water's already on the floor. She throws it already on the floor. Right there, boom. You see it? It didn't touch him. Look, it didn't touch him. She threw the water before. It didn't touch him at all. Right here, look. Look, the water is spilling. Wouldn't she have burned herself? Am I tripping on what I'm asking? And right there, she throws it. Y'all gonna see the steam on the floor. Right there. This officer was not near her when she threw the pot of water. Look. Right there, he starts shooting. She's down. That's fucked up. So for those people out there saying Sonya Massey is to blame, as far as I can see, this officer's to blame. We have somebody with mental health issues, right? Who called in for help. She called in for help. And instead of this officer helping her, he made her fear for her life. If we could tell that as a setup, watching the whole thing play off, to her, do y'all know how it felt to her? Put yourselves in the shoes of a schizophrenic. And for 1 second, walk a mile in it. Could y'all handle the way they think, feel, and view the world? This officer was 100% wrong. All right, so I'm gonna leave that right there, right? We've seen that. I hope y'all, seen that. And was it? Hold on 1 second, guys. It's just the one. I'm trying to find the right video. All right. So I got the right video now. Mhm. There we go. There we go. All right. So I came across this guy like 2-3 days ago, right? And I like the way he broke it down, and he did what I should have did with the video. But we gonna, skip through this live so that y'all could wait, should I do the whole live? Let me see something. I think mostly, yeah, all the videos he got, I got. Okay. Get down here.
How does the best basketball player of all time make more in retirement than he ever did on the court? It's because he makes a
Okay. Here it is.
So I think he breaks it down on here. Yep, he does. He breaks it here. So he basically did what I just did, right? But he's in the studio. He got that Cyberlink, man. That's where I should have put the video in. And so that way I can rewind it, fast forward. Well, basically he's gonna do it. So shout out to, if y'all want to make sub up to him. Oh, what's going on? Opens the link. Video is big. Novasti. Make sure y'all go check him out if y'all haven't. If y'all want to sub up, That's his channel, and obviously, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. But here we go.
Okay. Again, listen. Some people say, no, I don't see a pot. That's their opinion. Please, just respect it. Some people say they do see a pot. Just respect it. That's me. I do fall in that category. Some people say other things. It's just people's opinion. I do believe in fact. What do you believe? Tell me when I break this down along with you, okay? Everyone has a voice. Everyone has a voice.
Yep, I believe in truth.
Okay. So what I see is, let me back out. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem that I'm having. It's the positioning of how she has the pot. Now,
see how he questioned the same thing I questioned. Like, did she burn herself?
There it goes. It's just that spot. I just can't.
She already threw the water on the floor. The pot was empty. Oh. The pot was empty. I hope y'all was able to see that.
Hold on, guys.
Now, Pete, what he's trying to show us. What I couldn't show y'all.
See what I'm saying?
Look. She's waving the pot like she's trying to put the pot over her head, like in her face. She don't know what part of her body to cover. But if y'all peep, I think he already had shot her, right? Look, I think somewhere around the shoulder she got shot, if I'm not mistaken. Because you see the red. I'm hoping not, but don't. That will come right through my mic. I'm not muted. Huh?
This is the problem that I'm having. It's the positioning of how she has the pot. Now,
keep that.
There we go.
Look, y'all see it right there? The pot is empty already. Look, and if y'all look at her chest, look, there's a bullet wound to her chest right there.
It's just that spot. I just can't.
Oh, no, he ain't shoot her yet. That's the rag in the thingy. The rag on the stove.
Hold on, guys.
Hey, listen, it's on slow motion. I'm trying to put it together. There you go. He got it again.
Just that part right there. It's like, she's just like.
She's trying to defend herself. Look, the pot is empty.
Look.
Look. She already emptied out the water.
She's just covering her face. She got her hand here. It's just my opinion. If I wanted to throw water, I would have.
Exactly. Threw that shit. Chuck that shit at him.
I just see that. You know what I can do? I can take this and actually enhance it very little. Let's do that. Let's enhance this video, guys. So video enhancement, let's just sharpen this up a little bit, all right? So you can kind of make out what's happening. And what I'm going to do actually is add some adjustment layers. And where is that?
Damn, that shit's sweet.
Let's introduce some brightness and contrast. So we can
I'm gonna put the
add a little bit here to this. So we're going to increase the brightness and clean it up a little bit.
Oh, can y'all see that better?
Contrast will do it will help the fine lines of the image. So we can add some life into the image, some contour. If we can squeeze it, we
He brightened it. And now you can see the pot even better. All right, guys. This is an open panel. Y'all more than welcome to come. Oh, shit. I left my damn camera on real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn this camera off. The camera was not supposed to be on. All right, this is an open panel. If y'all wish to come up, I'm going to show other clips, you know, and stuff. But I wanted y'all to really see that right there. I want y'all to really see that. She was using the pot as a defense mechanism. Like, okay, and she didn't even know where to cover. Her head, her chest, her shoulders. Bull still got her, though. He still squeezed. He still pulled that trigger, yo. That trigger should have never been pulled. He should have never walked into that house. When she said, I don't need you, I'm fine, he should have walked away. But it's deeper. And we're about to find out why. So let's look at the news clips and the little meeting that they had, the parents and stuff speaking about what happened to Sonya Massey. And y'all wish to come up and speak, y'all more than welcome. The link is down below.
Say her name, loud and clear, so they'll never forget it.
Sonya Massey. Anywhere where fear runs deep, heavy trigger cops don't think, they just leap over a pot of boiling water. Such a shame, a coward in blue playing a deadly game. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. A life taken too soon for what crime? Just a pot of water bubbling over time. No chance to explain or make it right. In the blink of an eye, plunged into eternal night. The headlights scream of injustice and pain as we mourn another life lost in vain. The system broken, hearts shattered apart by those who should protect with courage, not dark. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In a world so unjust, Sonya Massey lost her life. Blame thrown left and right, but just to show ignite. Say her name loud and clear, let the truth be near. In the shadows of deceit, her memory we hold dear. Amidst the darkness and lies that cloud her fate. A victim of cruelty and a cruel twist of hate. Whispers of the injustice echo through the night. Sonya's spirit lingers, demanding what is right. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In the shadows of the night, Sonya stood tall. I rebuke you, in the name of Jesus she called. The officer's eyes filled with venomous spite as he dared her. And I rebuke you in the dim moonlight. Sonya pleaded for mercy on bended knees. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice filled with plea. But the officer's words cut through like a knife. A crazy bitch, she spat with hatred and strife. With courage in her heart, Sonya spoke clear and bold. Her name echoed loud as the story unfolds. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the heavy trigger hitter. In the darkness of despair, a cry for help was in the air. Sonya Massey, just 36, her mental health in need of fix. But a heartless cop's cruel hand ended her life without a care. Say her name loud and clear, let it echo far and near. Justice must be served, for Sonya's unfairly taken. May her story be a beacon, shining light on lives forsaken. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. We lift our voices high to honor Sonya's name in the sky. Let it hover over their heads as a reminder of the cost of neglecting those in need and the lives that have been lost.
Yo, my condolences goes out to Sonya Massey's family. So many people out here suffer from mental health, and they go through similar situations as Sonya Massey. Like, may she, you know, have peace in paradise. It's a shame what this officer did. I mean, what's crazy is she was the one with paranoid schizophrenia. and he seemed more paranoid than what she was. Like, all that out of an I rebuke you, the spirit in her saw the demon in him. And that's why a lot of people are calling it a war of the spirits. So this officer defends, this cop is defending Sean Grayson. Let's hear what she got to say. Oh my God, commercials are gonna make me skip to.
Okay, so knowing the fact that most people don't make it fully through the video, and I get it, let me know your initial first thoughts looking at the caption that is directly in front of you on the video when it starts playing, and from the words of said cop who is speaking. Let me know your thoughts, how it is that you're processing this, and your feelings in the comment section below.
It's a lot of, it couldn't be me. I woulda, shoulda, coulda. You wouldn't have. Y'all think y'all can react differently from us? We out here trained. You couldn't. You say that because you have time to think right now. We don't have time to think when we pop off. So again, you could never. You would never. Put the badge on and let me see you do it.
Now I want to just say shout out to the person who
Yo, that bitch tripping. She said you would never, you could never. Bitch, that cop was not in any type of way, shape, or form in harm. Like, this cop sat here and they fucking emptied out a whole Glock on a shorty. They literally did emptied out a whole Glock, man. I think each one took like 8 bullets. Man, you gonna sit here and tell me that shit justified a woman with no weapon, just a pot of boiling water? Just a pot of water that's bubbling over time. And y'all telling me that that was enough for her to get a shot in the head? I mean, a bullet in the head, a bullet in the chest, and Lord knows where else she got shot, because they were shooting like crazy, like if she was about to shoot at them. And they both shot their weapons, not just one, both shot their weapons.
in a sense posted this, and this is the Twitter. This is the post that I originally saw this from. So you can see that clear, directly in front of you. I just want to let people know sometimes I can't specifically put the person's information out there because sometimes a lot of individuals on Twitter have things that are not safe. They have material that's, like I said, I don't know how else to sit up there and put it. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm good, and nobody can say that I'm trying to push people towards those individuals content. So again, because I see y'all in the comment section a lot of times, like, can somebody post this person's information? I would if I could, but I'm not going to do it because I'm not trying to automatically get canceled. So but anyways, this is the person's information, just in case you want to go directly to their page and you want to see more stuff and things like that. So this is just an initial first go. This is not knowing anything else. I'm just going by the caption and listening to what it is that she stated. And I think this video that was posted last time I looked, she posted this over a week ago, right? So more than enough time to say that this more than likely has to deal with Miss Massey and her untimely passing. There's also other information that has come out as well, such as quote unquote arguments that may have arose between Massey and the ex-cop's wife. Argument took place, and oddly enough, it seems that the wife supposedly works in the medical field. So again, for the Black women out there, you may want to specifically pay attention and see how these things are working hand in hand. You have somebody who was a cop that inevitably took the life of Miss Massey, and then his significant other works directly in the medical field. It's a double whammy. So again, for the Black women out there, pay attention. But anyways, the main thing I want to look at is this. right? It's great that this woman here is a cop. This is what she signed up for. This is what she specifically, um, wanted to do. But time and time again, I've noticed that when you, as a individual that is melanated, right, you expect for others to, in a sense, have a sense, empathy, or feeling of some type of sorrow, right? Some type of like, man, how could this happen? And time again, when you look at a lot of these cops who just so happen to be reflective in nature, melanated, um, they tend not to surprise you. It's very much the exact same verbiage, just like, oh, we got a split second. Everybody else, you guys are just talking. You can never do our job, and yada yada yada. And
They used to snooze on me, now
Oh,
they
you
want
want
the
to play
blues.
with me? All right, YouTube. Yeah.
da 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 da. And I'm like,
409.
wow, I'm like, this crazy. Quote unquote arguments that may have arose between Massey and the ex-cop's wife. Argument, took place, and oddly enough, it seems that the wife supposedly works in the medical field. So again, for the
It ain't no
black women out there,
supposedly.
you
It's
may
true.
want to specifically pay attention and see how these things are working hand in hand. You have somebody who was a cop that inevitably took the life of Miss Massey, and then his significant other works directly in the medical field. It's a double whammy. So again, for the black women out there, pay attention. But anyways, the main thing I want to look at is this, right? It's great that this woman here is a cop. This is what she signed up for. This is what she specifically, wanted to do. But time and time again, I've noticed that when you, as a individual that is melanated, right, you expect for others to, in a sense, have a sense, empathy, or feeling of some type of sorrow, right? Some type of like, man, how could this happen? And time again, when you look at a lot of these cops who just so happen to be reflective in nature, melanated, they tend not to surprise you. It's very much the exact same verbiage, just like, oh, we got a split second.
All right, both spitting some gems, right? But I wanted y'all to hear what this officer was saying. Shout out to Seiji Hito the second. Y'all want to check what his YouTube is about. That's the name of his YouTube. But I wanted y'all to hear what this cop was saying. Like, in my opinion, I don't know what makes her think that, that what this officer did was justified, and that us as regular civilians couldn't handle a situation like that. And I've seen other people deal with people with mental health issues better than what these officers out here do. Like, he didn't have to pull the trigger. He could have pulled out his taser. He could have, de-escalated the situation any other way but pulling that damn gun. But he chose to pull that gun because he wanted to. Now, I want y'all to hear this. Was I able to share it? I hate when it does that. All right. Okay. These are the 9/11 dispatch audio offers timelines of fatal shooting of Sonya Massey. Says the following audio consists of Sangamon County Central Dispatch System scanner transmissions from July 6, 2024 between 1:01 a.m. to 1:51 a.m. Two Sangamon County Sheriff's deputies were responding to the home of Sonya Massey, who called 911 to report a possible problem. Deputy Sean Grayson is accused of shooting Massey in the face. He was hit when that happens. He was indicted on July 17 on charges of first-degree murder and other crimes. Grayson has pleaded not guilty.
Actually, 318, 319, just 43. When you're clear that, I'm going to have you both stacked to a prowler. Caller hears noises outside the house. Wouldn't answer questions, hung up on us. 19, I'm en route. 18 en route.
Allegedly, they were already on another scene, right? He said, when y'all get done, let me know, right? So that y'all can go handle this another call. He gave the code, right? I guess there was a prowler, but they keep hanging up. They said they already on route.
18 and 19, 23. 18, 19, Timber. 19 from 18, let's knock. Can't make contact with it. Timber.
You see how this shows that the officer that was knocking knew that she had mental health issues? July 6th at 1 a.m.
319. 319. You can try and call her 17 back here and let her know we're out front. So. Hitting no answer on callback, going to a voicemail with no name. I hear her phone ringing and she's using some of the doors for about 15 minutes. So, 318, 319. 43 now. We're getting an open line on 911 from a 911 only cell phone. It's not the call.
You know what's crazy? They got that call at 1 o'clock, right? Let me see. Am I tripping? Yeah, they got that call at 1 o'clock already on route, right? And by 1:10 a.m., they was already in her front door. And I'm going to keep asking the question. How is it that they got there so fast? They was already at another scene, right? But was already on route to this house when they got the call. Come on, guys, let's make it make sense. When they made the call to them, they told them, let us know when y'all done at the scene that y'all in, so that y'all can go handle the dispatcher that called in that thinks there's a prowler but keeps hanging up. Already on route.
Call that she originally called from, and all we can hear is some sort of wrestling around. Yeah, she was yelling inside. She told us to hold on. 19, I got a 20 foot. Go ahead. You can hang up. 318, are you out with her? Yes, please hang up. Absolutely will. Gentlemen's close, units out, and you can start. Headshot was a female. 1078. And you can start 2868 Hoover, 2868 Hoover. Units on scene are 1078, shots fired. You can start for 2868 Hoover, 1018, use 10-0 for shots fired. See you guys going around. Hey, 6-2, show me. 7-4. 85, send Trevor.
669, 10-4.
695, where's that at?
695, 2678 Hoover, 2678 Hoover.
Bro.
10-4.
Creo 2 on the route.
18 Park.
2. From ahead. Copy that.
Yo, they was in communication the whole
Once we
time.
get some suspect information or vehicle information, that's the stuff we need to start working on to help them out.
10-1-3, key 21.
4.
Springfield 4, Frank 19, 1042.
19, 10-4.
Where's swing Y? Just confirm self-inflicted. Two on out.
What?
Copy County's update. I didn't. Self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted.
Units en route to Hoover, slow down and continue. Units en route to 2868 Hoover, slow down and continue. 10 more units route to Hoover, continue to slow down. EMS coming 1018. All units have been advised to slow down except for EMS, who is coming 1018. 43, team is going to be coming 1018. Make sure you're clear of the roadway to the scene.
Right. Secure now.
695, 10-4.
41, I'm gonna be 23.
They ain't got thick ass woods.
16-1 arrived, secure now.
16-1, 10-4.
I think we're good out here. We don't need anybody else. 10-4, units are route to Hoover that are not 10-6-23, disregard and advise.
On 4 investigations, they will be en route, and they are contacting their CSI as well.
Hey.
Copy that.
And I'm 23 on Hoover.
Damn commercial. Yo, I gotta go back to this video that we were just watching. A second. Is it on here? Yeah, it is on here. I gotta show you. I was trying to figure out, I'm like, I know I'm missing something. I want y'all to hear what these officers are saying. Here. And this is when they left the crime scene. Right here. This is, I think, let me see. I want y'all to pay attention. Oh, here.
318, do we got any call history with her being 1096?
Do we have any call history of her being 1096? Do we have any call history of her being 1096? It's crazy how he walked over here and the other officer walked all the way over there with his car. They didn't come together, huh? I guess. Yeah, but I wanted y'all to hear that how the officer called in asking if there was a history of a 1096, and they didn't have that in the audio. Once again, guys, like I said, these are open panels. You're more than welcome to come up, speak, give y'all opinions, give y'all perspectives. Which one is this one? Here we go. So right now I'm just playing the clips so that y'all can see a little more. If y'all haven't seen them, here you go. If y'all seeing them, then y'all know what it is.
My family is police.
All right. So this is called Sonya Massey, Sean Grayson's Files Grievance. And it was uploaded by Cassie J. Enterprise.
Well, guys, I'm pretty sure that some of you all may not have seen this coming, but I surely did, being that my family is police for years and years and years and years and years and still continue to be. Well, guys, it appears that the Saginaw County Police Union, Fraternal Order of Police, has decided they will be filing a grievance in behalf of Sean Grayson behind the incident that happened in Springfield, Illinois with Sonya Massey. Now, the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, has actually filed a grievance in his behalf saying that he was terminated without just cause. Can you believe it, guys? They're saying that he was terminated without just cause. I got to say it a second time because I'm so much in disbelief. But maybe I'm not in disbelief because I know how this go. I've been seeing it all my life, and I knew that a grievance would be coming. Now, this grievance was actually filed on July the 18th, and it basically reads that the date of the incident.
So what they trying to do? They trying to pardon him? Basically, they're trying to let him go. That's what it is. They're fighting for him to go. They're trying to say, oh, because she had allegedly a pot of boiling water, which I just showed y'all on a video. Slow down. Shout out to novelist. I forget his name right now. But shout out to her, man. I just started watching him. That's why I can't remember his name like that. But big shout out. Y'all rewind back. Y'all see the name of the content creator. I do apologize right now. But he slowed the John down. I slowed the John down. You could see that the pot was empty before he shot her.
Or date that they knew the facts of the grievance was dated 7/17/2024. Articles and sections of the contract violations, and they go on and name those, and then a brief statement of facts. Here we go, guys. The grievance was terminated without just cause. Further, the employer publicly disseminated details of the investigation and termination on Facebook in violation of the CBA and prior to giving the grievance or his representative notice of the decision to terminate. And the remedy that they are seeking, guys, they are seeking reinstatement and reimbursement of all lost wages, restoration of all lost benefits, and any other appropriate relief, which is anything that they can come up with later on. Can you believe it, guys? Now, I actually first found this out when I was watching the Reverend L. Sharpton do an interview on Politics Nation with Ben Crump.
All right, so I'm trying to listen to her and understand. Does anybody in the chat know what a grievance form is? I'm about to Google it. What is a grievance form? Not ingredient, grievance. What is a grievance form? Ah, so he's trying to say that he was wrong. But who put that into placement? The one in charge, the head honcho. So the person that hired him should be fired too.
About the situation, and they had some interesting things to say. And guys, I'm going to let you watch a clip of that actual encounter with Al Sharpton.
Of alcohol before his Lord.
How do celebrities like Justin Bieber and The Rock generate hundreds of millions of...
My family is police for years and years and years and years and years and still continue to be. Well, guys, it appears that the Saginaw County
Before his Lord.
Will encounter with Sharpton.
Of alcohol before his Lord.
They have succumbed because it is that emotional, it is that shocking. Reverend Al, you and I have seen many instances of police excessive force, but this is the worst police shooting video ever because this was so senseless. I mean, Rev, it was so unnecessary. She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
And the boy said, I dare you. Like, this lady was on her knees. She surrendered. She was on her knees, surrendered. She didn't even try to tilt the water or anything that was in that damn, because listen, she didn't throw it at him. He wasn't close enough yet when she threw the water. She just threw the, I guess she needed to throw the freaking hot water off the damn pot because she thought it was going to protect some part of her body. It was self-defense. He shot her over and I rebuke you. And then used the damn excuse of the boiling water as, then he used the damn pot of boiling water as an excuse. Like, boy, like, I'm on YouTube. And when y'all hear me get like this, it's because I got to find the right words. YouTube will strike my ass if I say some dumb shit. So I got to watch carefully what I say. But this man deserves everything that's being said to him. Everything that we're thinking right now, he deserves it.
Yeah, last words. Yeah, and she's ducking, saying, sorry, sir, sorry. And he shoots her anyway in a downward trajectory. And so this is why we need you on this one, probably more than any other one, Rev, because this shocks the conscience in a way that I don't know if any other, you think about George Floyd video, and this is just as consequential, especially leading into a presidential election this year.
Now, Attorney Crump, according to court records, Sean Grayson, this officer, pled guilty twice to driving under the influence of alcohol before his law enforcement career began. And NBC is reporting he disclosed a history of alcohol abuse on a job application. He was working for his sixth law enforcement agency in 4 years.
That means that prior to this one, right? This one, he was fired from 5 other law enforcement agencies in a matter of 4 years. And because what, sir? I mean, I'm not talking to the guy talking now, but I'm talking to the person that hired him. Because that's your daughter's fiance, that's your son-in-law.
When he killed Sonya Massey. He's now facing 3 counts of first-degree murder and one count each of aggravated battery and firearm and official misconduct. What else can you tell us about where things stand right now?
Yeah, you know, Reverend Al, Janelle Griffin, a young NBC reporter, has done a great job really being a journalist who keeps digging. And that is critical because we now know that he had those 6 jobs, and we know that he had unfounded allegations in his previous job at another sheriff's department before he came to Sangamon County, as we discussed with Governor Pritzker with the family. Also, Reverend Al, we know that they found that he was not being honest in his police reports, and they found that he was aggressive. Their allegations he was.
So if they found this out and they figured all this stuff out about him, why didn't they do something? Was it because the person that hired him was covering all his shit? That could be. I mean, this is just me trying to figure it out. Like, my honest opinion, that's what I think it is. Like, because he's the son-in-law of the head honcho of the, sheriff's department. He was going to get away with it, but if it wasn't for his partner reporting this, right? If it wasn't for him, he would have gotten away with it.
Aggressive with citizens, and we now see that on the video of the tragic killing of Sonya Massey. And breaking news, Reverend Al, we understand that the police union is going to file a grievance of some kind on his behalf to say that he was terminated without cause. So when we're together on Tuesday.
So let me ask y'all, I don't know how many's in the chat right now. I'm streaming this on Facebook and on YouTube. So listen, man, I want to ask y'all, listen, whether you in the chat, right? Whether you on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, or you catch the replay, or you're just coming into the chat, do y'all feel as though that he should be let go? Do y'all feel as though that what he did to Sonya Massey was justified? Because I feel as though that, listen, man, Sonya Massey's spirit still needs justice. And it's not going to get it until he's behind bars for life.
At the rally with National Action Network, we have to address this. As I tell people,
let me get this right, because this is new. They're going to file a grievance about him being fired after the whole world is seeing this tape that he shot this woman because she was trying to do what he said about some boiling hot water after she called the sheriff's deputies to a house. They're filing a grievance?
They're filing a grievance saying that he was terminated without cause. And it doesn't really surprise me, Reverend Al, because they always try to justify these unjustified killings. And that's why on Tuesday in Chicago, we're going to address this with the family and the press, because we can't take for granted at all that he won't get a slap on the wrist like Laquan McDonald. You remember Reverend Al?
Absolutely.
Video, and they convicted him, and then the judge gave him a slap on the wrist. That's why we're fighting for equal justice for Sonya Massey. And until we get full justice for Sonya Massey,
Invisible battles fought within, mental health struggles hidden from kin, silent cries for help ignored and unseen. Yet behind closed doors is a raging scene. Anxiety, depression, they silently creep, taking over minds while others sleep. Stigma and shame keep the truth at bay. But mental health matters more than we say. Let's break the silence, end the taboo. Reach out to those feeling blue. Listen with empathy, offer a hand, because mental health is something we must understand.
Her last words, Reverend Al, we rebuke you in the name of Jesus, you discriminatory criminal justice system, until we get equal justice for this black woman.
Well, we'll be there in Chicago, 6 p.m. Chicago time at the church. Reverend Ackley will be there, and certainly the pastor, Marshall Hatch. and many of our affiliates in Chicago. Brother Crump, go ahead.
Vice President Kamala Harris, our leader, really offered Malachi, her son, on the phone, and her father condolences and expressed in such a special way. Malachi, remember your mother with that beautiful smile. Try not to remember the tragic way this so-called police officer killed her.
And I remember that Vice President Harris came to the funeral of Miss Whitfield, who was killed by a white supremacist in Buffalo, New York, where I did the eulogy and brought her up. And we went to Tyree Nichols' funeral in Memphis.
Yo, is they trying to use the death of Sonya Massey to up Kamala Harris right now? Yo, if they don't get out my face with that bullshit right now, yo, Kamala Harris ain't for nobody but her.
Dealt with that. She is not doing this because she ran for president. She does this, as well as President Biden met with George Floyd's family. All of this, many of those things happened while Donald Trump was president. I'm trying to remember. I don't think he showed up or called anybody. If he did, it was not to show that he wanted or say that he was against what had happened to them. Benjamin Crump, Attorney General for Black America, thank you for being with us.
Now, guys, I didn't stop there. I went digging a little bit further, and I ran across this newspaper article that basically reads, Union for Sheriff Deputies born at Grayson reinstated. The union representing Sangamon County Sheriff Department deputies is asking that former Deputy Sean Grayson, charged with, we know what he was charged with, in the unaliving of Sonya Massey. They're asking that he be reinstated and reimbursed for any lost wages. The Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council filed a grievance July the 18th against the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department. The grievance said Grayson 30 of Riverton was terminated without just cause. Although we saw the cause with our own eyes. The Sheriff's Department fired.
Yeah, we saw the cause with our own eyes. This man fired at an innocent woman that was not strapped. She had no weapons, none whatsoever but a pot, an empty pot in the air when he shot her.
On July the 17th, the same day, criminal charges of unaliving, battery, and official misconduct in the case of Miss Massey that happened on July the 6th. And these charges were handed down by the grand jury. Grayson also pleaded not guilty and is being held in the Menard County Jail in Petersburg. Sheriff Jack Campbell said in a statement on July 17th, it is clear that the deputy did not act as trained or in accordance with our standards. Therefore, Sean Grayson's employment with the sheriff's office has been terminated. The firing without just cause.
So he's terminated for right now, but basically the sheriff's department is fighting for him to get reinstated, saying that it was unjust to fire the man. How was it unjust? It was unjust that he sat here and fired at a woman. Where's the justice in that?
The department's dissemination of details of the investigation on Facebook and the department's firing of Grayson before giving him the union prior notice all violate terms of the union's collective bargaining agreement with the county, according to the FOP. A spokesman for the county didn't reply, and when asked to comment on the grievance, Just Cause referred to terms in labor contracts that generally require employees considering firing workers to first give them fair notice of any performance issues. The opportunity addresses those issues and valid reasons for this. Labor contracts can allow situations in which an employee can impose immediate discipline, including fire, when there are flagrant violations in rules of conduct. And I would say that that's what this amounted to. Illinois is considered an at-will state, which means an employer can fire a worker at any time without giving a reason or cause, unless the worker is protected by just cause provisions in a union or employment contract. Grievances can be resolved through negotiations between employers and unions. If settlements cannot be reached by agreements, the matter can proceed to binding arbitration. Illinois Times asked the FOP why it requested reinstatement for Grayson, whose conduct in connection with Massey's unaliving is detailed in video footage from body-worn cameras that has attracted national attention. The grievance also seeks a reinstatement of all lost wages, restoration of all lost benefits, and any other appropriate relief.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right there, yo. Shout out to KCJ Enterprise Show, man. Like, if y'all haven't heard about this, just on Google, y'all can search it up. She did the same thing, so shout out to her for bringing it to our awareness. Like, all the stuff that's happening with Sonya Massey. Is this the same video? Like, I should even like to know what y'all think, how y'all feel about the situation. Me, I feel like it's a setup. I don't get tired of saying it. It's deeper than what we think. If y'all pay attention to what they're saying in the news, if y'all paying attention to the articles that are surfacing, if y'all paying attention to the people that know them, this was a setup. Like, her own son said it was a sacrifice. Like, I don't know what y'all think. What would y'all do if you had a family member with mental health and they ended up in the shoes of Sonya Massey? What would y'all do? Hold on one second. All right. Here we go.
And now we are learning more about the sheriff's deputy charged in the fatal shooting of an Illinois mother. His troubled past raising new questions about how and why he was hired in the first place. ABC's Andrea Fujii has the story.
New details emerging from allegations of aggression and integrity issues involving Sean Grayson. He's the former Illinois sheriff's deputy charged in the murder of Sonya Massey. She called 911 earlier this month to report a suspected prowler at her Springfield home. Body camera video shows Grayson responding and later shooting Massey as she held a pot of boiling water.
Where's he going? No, she had a boiling water and came at me with boiling water. You shot her? Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water.
Grayson has held 6 different jobs in law enforcement since 2020. And now ABC News has obtained records from his 11-month tenure at the Logan County Sheriff's Office, including recordings between Grayson and his supervisors discussing inaccuracies in his police reports.
We had this conversation. I told you in that meeting, review all your reports, make sure they're right.
One supervisor is heard reprimanding.
Yo, the supervisor knew about the things that he was doing. The supervisor knew that he was wrong on how he conducted these cases. The supervisor knew he should have been fired. But you know what it was? He is the fiancé of the head honcho's daughter.
Grayson for misconduct.
The sheriff and I will not tolerate lying and deception. And I have told you that I have zero tolerance for stretching the law. Because when you have officers that stretch the law, they will get caught, they will get prosecuted, and they will handcuff the rest of law enforcement.
Records also show a woman filed a complaint claiming Grayson tried to watch as she was strip searched. But according to the paperwork, Grayson left the Logan County Sheriff's Office last.
So he didn't just have DUIs, he had a sexual harassment charge on him.
Year in good standing. He was hired days later by the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, where he was working at the time of Massey's shooting. Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell says his department failed Massey.
She called for help and we failed. That's all she did. That's all she did was call for help.
Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Sheriff Campbell has refused to resign for hiring Grayson. Before his policing career, Grayson was also convicted of 2 DUIs and kicked out of the military. He has pleaded not guilty to this murder charge.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license?
You know what I call that? Officers hiding behind the badge. That's what I call it.
Of the death of Sonya Massey. She was shot and killed earlier this month during an encounter with Sangamon County deputies. They responded to her house after reports of a possible prowler. Sonya's death has gained national attention after Illinois State Police released the body camera footage. Former Deputy Sean Grayson has since been fired from the department and is charged with murder in her death. County officials say they were not confused about if the gunshot that killed Sonya Massey was self-inflicted. This comes after confusion on the 911 dispatch about whether the gunshot was self-inflicted. News Channel 20's Julia Rosier joins us now with more.
Yo, they really trying to figure out if the gunshot was self-inflicted? She didn't shoot herself. Am I hearing this correctly? She didn't shoot herself. Oh.
Julia?
Dawn, Stacey, that's right. Sangamon County says these new details come from their new website with information about Sonya Massey and the investigation into that deputy-involved shooting. County officials say that they were aware that the phrase self-inflicted was used by radio dispatch.
Blessings. Wait. I know I just saw somebody in the chat come in. Hold on. Blessings, Commander. Blessings, how you doing, yo? This is crazy. Now they're trying to say that they're trying to see if the wounds were self-inflicted. We know that she died off the gunshot wound. Like, I showed it to y'all. If y'all go back, right? If y'all rewind back, y'all will see me slow it down for y'all, right? And y'all will see that she was still gasping after the officers shot her. And I'm not saying one officer, because I could have sworn I saw 2 officers pulling that trigger. But hey, the world sees one, but for some reason I'm seeing 2. So suicide by cop, bunch of bull. Yeah. Listen, I slowed it down to the point where you see that the pot was in the air before the officers shot. Well, I didn't slow it down on that part, because with the video that I showed that was extra slow down was the other bull. But we both did the same thing, but he had it on the I should have did it. I kept saying it earlier. I should have did the I should have put the video on Cyberlink and rewinded it. I could have cleared up the bit. Listen, man. But the bull did it. He had the time for that shit. Shout out to the bull. I showed it. I even paused it right where he cleared it at, and you can see that she had the empty pot of boiling water, right? So that means that she threw the water on the floor already. She didn't go like that towards them. She didn't run towards them. She didn't chuck the pot at them or none of that shit. The first pot that she pulled from the stove, you could hear her pouring it into something, so she poured that into the bucket. She puts the pot in the sink and is getting water from the sink, right? The water is hot already, I guess, coming from the sink, right? When she says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," right? He says, "I dare you." She said, "I rebuke you again," right? He pulls the pistol. She goes down, says, "I'm sorry." She's pleading, "I'm sorry," as she's going down on her knees. He's coming closer. She reaches up, right? Because that's self-defense. She don't know what the fuck to do. She grabs the pot, throws the water on the floor, and covers. So I'm guessing she's trying to cover her face. She feels like he starts shooting. The water never reached them. The water wasn't trying to be thrown at them. He was already fucking trying to shoot her. They set her up. They sent her to the stove to turn off that water. When she said, "I don't need your help," They should have left already. They should have called it in. Nobody's in the house. Nobody's outside. We feel as though, she could be hallucinating. She could be hearing things and called it in, and they could have came and got her. They could have sent an ambulance with the proper help, and they would have took her to a mental health institution. That's what would have happened. But these officers were plotting. They I'm not saying both of them. I think one already, knew what the other one was going to do. It's like ride or die type of shit. But yo, it's crazy. Like if y'all go look at the video and if y'all connect the dots prior, like yo, she was calling for help. Like if you go deeper into this, right, and the more you look at it, the more you talk about it, the more you hear people break it down, the more you break it down yourself, right? It's like it feels like she came out the hospital. She could have probably, yo, the boss fiance was working at the same hospital that she was hospitalized in, or she went to go see, and it was a mental hospital, right? What if she saw something that she shouldn't have seen, or heard something that she shouldn't have heard, right? Because it's weird when the fucking officer comes up, right? He starts asking all these questions, then asks her, "How is your health?" If you didn't know that she had mental issues, right? Why would you ask the question, "How is your health?" When she opened that door and saw this officer, she said, "Oh Lord, please don't hurt me." He said, "We're not here to hurt you. You called us." And I could just keep going. At the end, after all the shooting, right? You see the body, the officer walk outside and ask dispatch if there's any history of mental health. But if you took the call, right, you would have, didn't you know already, because they gave you the code. Plus, she has a bracelet in her hand. You asked her about her health, and she told you she just took her pills. I mean, come on, guys, y'all gotta really pay attention and listen. And you gotta be into crime and all this detective stuff in order, like, to put the pieces together, like for real. And I'm into all that stuff, like 48 Hours. Man, I grew up on Olivia Benson. I grew up really on the first Law and Order. Then I started watching Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I used to watch CSI, all that. I was into all that. Like, and I read crime books. Listen, man, we're not going to get into that, but shit be crazy. There's other ways this officer could have handled this situation. He was wrong in every way possible, and allegedly they was trained to deal with mental health situations. So how was Sonya Massey wrong for defending herself? She had a pot of boiling water in the air defending herself. No, my bad. An empty pot in the air. At one point it had water, but she threw that shit in the floor. To use the pot as protection. And if y'all go back earlier into my live, y'all will see what I'm talking about. Because it got slowed down to, listen, man, the slowest version that you could put this John on here. And I'm not the only one that saw it. I even put the bull. I put the bull's live. He slowed his live down all the way to the maximum that you could slow it down to. And you see her. She's trying to use that pot as protection. It's like the spirit in her saw the demon in him and what that demon was already trying to do. But my question is, what did Sonya Massey see in that hospital between the nurse and this officer? Or what did she hear? Was these officers already there? Because if you hear the audio calls, which I played too, these dispatchers said when the dispatchers called in, they told them these officers were already at another scene. The dispatcher told them when they're done at their scene, let them know so they could go handle a caller that called in saying there's a possible prowler, but she keeps hanging up. The officer told the dispatcher that they were already en route. They was there in 10 minutes if you pay attention on the timeline, in less than 10 minutes. But y'all were supposed to be already at another call. Y'all were supposed to finish that call, but y'all was already en route to this call before the dispatcher put the call in. Sonya was making a call saying that she was hearing prowlers, right? And when we looked at their video cam, they was already in this yard for a minute. Like, let's make the timeline is not adding up. It's like they was already in that yard. I mean, I'm telling y'all, pay attention to the timeline. Pay attention to the audio calls. Pay attention to the dispatcher calls. Pay attention to what's being said.
Dispatchers on 911. But this officials also say former Deputy Sean Grayson stated at least twice in the body camera video that he was the shooter.
They were saying it was self-inflicted initially. It was some intruder who did it, but they never said it was law enforcement who did it.
See, so it's like what they're trying to cover up. They're trying to put a Mandela effect on this, John, to see how much people can remember or how much people paid attention to. Like, is they trying to trick and play this shit out of us? Man, I'm gonna be straight up with this shit. You wanna know why? Because too many of us got so many loved ones that have to deal with mental health on a daily. Would y'all want this to happen to y'all loved one? Come on, let's be real. Let's really be real. What if somebody that y'all really cared about was in the shoes of Sonya Massey? How would y'all feel? What would y'all reaction be?
Say her name, loud and clear, so they'll never forget it.
Sonya Massey. Anywhere where fear runs deep, happy trigger cops don't think, they just leap. Over a pot of boiling water, such a shame, a coward in blue playing a deadly game. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees, I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. A life taken too soon for what crime? Just a pot of water bubbling over time. No chance to explain or make it right. In the blink of an eye, plunged into eternal night. The headlights scream of injustice and pain as we mourn another life lost in vain. The system broken, hearts shattered apart by those who should protect with courage, not dart. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In a world so unjust, Sonya Massey lost her life. Blame thrown left and right, but just to show ignite. Say her name loud and clear, let the truth be near. In the shadows of the sea, her memory we hold dear. Amidst the darkness and lies that cloud her fate. A victim of cruelty and a cruel twist of hate. Whispers of the injustice echo through the night. Sonya's spirit lingers, demanding what is right. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the trigger happy hitter. In the shadows of the night, Sonya stood tall. I rebuke you, in the name of Jesus, she called. The officer's eyes filled with venomous spite as he dared her. And I rebuke you in the dim moonlight. Sonya pleaded for mercy on bended knees. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice filled with plea. But the officer's words cut through like a knife. A crazy bitch, she spat with hatred and strife. With courage in her heart, Sonya spoke clear and bold. Her name echoed loud as the story unfolds. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. In the darkness of despair, a cry for help was in the air. Sonya Massey, just 36, her mental health in need of fix. But a heartless cop's cool hand ended her life without a care. Say her name loud and clear, let it echo far and near. Justice must be served, for Sonya's unfairly taken. May her story be a beacon, shining light on lives forsaken. Sonya Massey pleaded on her knees. I'm sorry, she cried, but he still squeezed. No heart in his chest, just cold and bitter. This feels like a setup by the happy trigger hitter. We lift our voices high to honor Sonya's name in the sky. Let it hover over their heads as a reminder of the cost of neglecting those in need and the lives that have been lost.
My condolences go out to Sonya Massey and her family. And listen, man, never wish anything like this to happen to anybody out there. Like, Man, losing a loved one, especially by a cop, man, I've seen so many, like, yo, I've felt so many people's pains that have lost a loved one due to the, negligence of a cop.
Sonya Massey's family said last week that calling it a self-inflicted incident was an attempt to cover up the shooting. County officials responded saying, quote, "We understood it to be a question by dispatchers initially and that, quote, no cover-up has occurred." The sheriff's office is also calling on the Illinois State Police to investigate the claims on the scanner audio, suggesting that the cause of death was self-inflicted. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Julia Rosier. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. The sheriff's office contacted Illinois State Police to take over the investigation at 1:42 a.m. on July 6th. And we are taking a live look now at Chicago. Attorney Ben Crump, who represents the Massey family, is about to hold a press conference.
Once again, there's an open panel. It looks like I might do a part 2 on this. Let's see how long is Shorty gonna last on this, John. I'm gonna keep going as long as my earthly goods last me. I always tell people that. But yo, it's an open panel. Y'all more than welcome. I know Riaz was on this John earlier. I didn't know he was in the back. I apologize for that, Riaz. Like, I'm not always on the StreamYard when I'm reacting to the videos. I'm normally like multitasking between the videos that I'm gonna play and stuff like that, and on the phone and everywhere else. So I do apologize. I mean, unless it's not, I got a lot of videos on this, John. That's why I'm like, unless it's a regular live, like I'm reacting to like TikToks or I'm just talking and stuff like that, or but this John got so many parts to it that it was like, ooh. But let me know in the chat if you want to come up. Y'all more than welcome to talk with y'all opinions. Say what y'all gotta say. Like, ain't no judging here. Like, this case is crazy. This is the craziest case I've seen so far. But you know what? More cases are surfacing. I don't know if y'all heard about the cops that snatched a 66-year-old lady out of her car. Like, yo, it's getting worse and worse. I think there was another lady that had a whole shootout. Like, she's in her 60s too, with police. Like, this is getting crazier. It's election time. But what in the world is it with the officers picking on these old heads, man? Like, really? Like, we got an old head that is like on some Wild Wild West with the officers. Another one that, yo, they got shoved out the car window by officers. And then may she have peace in paradise. We got Sonya Massey, an officer that should have dealt with a mental health case in a different situation, but he chose to handle it this way.
Friends, Crump and community leaders, they are right now, as you see, discussing updates on the investigation. Later tonight, a rally will be held in the city in honor of Sonya Massey. We'll be bringing you updates on these developments throughout the evening, on air and online at newschannel20.com. One of the topics of discussion at the press conference was expected to be a grievance filed by the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council. That council filed the grievance against Sangamon County Sheriff's Department on behalf of former Deputy Sean Grayson. However, the council has now announced it won't pursue the grievance, saying, quote, "We have arrived at the final stage of the process where a determination can be made regarding whether or not to proceed with Sean Grayson's grievance. The union has determined that it will not be proceeding any further." Continuing our team coverage now.
So they're going to lock his ass up and throw away the key? I hope so, because he don't deserve to be out. Like, grievance for what? It wasn't justified. He shot a defenseless woman in her own home when he could have walked away.
The community voicing their concerns over the death of Sonya Massey, the U.S. Department of Justice held a community healing and listening session to ask the community feedback on how to improve police communication with the county. News Channel 20's Carolina Hassett joins us in studio with more on what officials had to say about as they face the public for the first time. Carolina?
That's right. Several Sangamon County officials facing the public for the first time since Massey's death. This included Sheriff Jack Campbell, who apologized and said that they failed her and to do their jobs. Organizers asked the community how they feel about the recent events that have occurred in Sangamon County and how they recommend improving police communications throughout the county. Many officials spoke at the event, including State's Attorney John Milhiser, who says his main priority is to keep people safe.
We do that by prosecuting cases in Sangamon County without fear or favor and holding accountable those who break the law. That is the impartial administration of justice, no matter who they are.
Milhiser said there needs to be more partnerships between the community and law enforcement in order to help keep people safe. Many residents spoke about being scared of law enforcement and are now fearful to call the police. Ward 2 Alderman Sean Gregory also spoke at the event, saying,
Yeah, they should be, because listen, man, shout out to all them officers out there that don't behind a badge, that are out here because they want to protect and serve. But there's more officers out here that hide behind a badge. They use the badge as power. They sit here and use that badge to get away with whatever it is that they want to get away with.
that it can't just be a conversation. There has to be action. In studio, I'm Carolina Hassett. Back to you.
Thanks, Carolina. We will have more for you tonight on News Channel 20 at 10 on what residents recommend when it comes to strengthening police communications in the county. We are learning more about Sean Grayson, the former deputy who shot Sonya Massey earlier this month, killing her.
Give me 1 second, guys. Because as y'all know, this is not my video. I am reacting to this video.
This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch, thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one.
Oh, what was that? Why did it play that? What the hell is going on?
Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of y'all shorty Rachel and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch, thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one.
Yo, this case gets crazier and crazier by time, right? It's fucked up. I don't know why they keep defending these cops. What do y'all believe, in your opinion, we should do as communities? I gotta tell people, my solution is we, a whole bunch of us should come together, buy some land, build properties in there, buy houses, get mental health clinics. Get a whole lot of resources into our little land, start our own schools. But hey, could it be possible? A lot of us got the same vision, but could we make this vision come true?
We've been in touch with law enforcement questioning their hiring practices that led to Grayson getting the job. Since the death of Sonya Massey, Grayson was fired from the sheriff's department and charged with first-degree murder, and now is awaiting his next court date. He has pleaded not guilty. Well, the shortage of police officers continues to be a problem nationwide.
Yeah, and some are concerned the recent shooting of Sonya Massey will make it harder to recruit new officers. News Channel 20's Julia Rosier has more.
Tell me why it's going to make it
That's
harder.
right. I talked with 2 statewide agencies who are dedicated to the well-being of officers across the state. Now, they both tell me that departments are still struggling to recruit and retain police officers, sometimes even leading to some desperation hires.
I think certainly, when we have instances like we've just had, does not make it any easier. That certainly brings people a question. Okay, well, do I really want to get into this profession?
The nation continues to experience a shortage of police officers.
It's scary. It's not always safe.
I think a lot of people don't want to join the police force because the way officers are being looked at, officers are not really respected no more because they're trigger happy cops.
Those are challenges that everybody's got to try to deal with in their own minds as to whether or not that's an experience that they want to go through in terms of being in law enforcement.
Both the Sheriff's Association and Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police say recruiting and maintaining officers isn't easy. Police departments have had to try new ways to recruit candidates, like using social media or developing relationships with candidates to show them what it's like to work at the department.
It's still tough getting out there trying to find qualified candidates. You just have to dig a little deeper, search a little harder, and change up the ways you do things.
Some say although police recruitment is improving, agencies are still struggling to find qualified officers.
It's not a Monday through Friday job. You can't work remote. It's a challenging job where, a bad decision can, ruin your life, ruin your career, But to go along with that, it's also a very rewarding career.
Both agencies say police departments always try to look for the best candidates possible.
Does a shortage of officers kind of lead to more desperation hiring?
I think it's certainly, if you've got less of a pool of people to pull from, you've got less people to pull from. They still have to maintain certain minimum qualifications. You probably run the risk potentially of more people going into this profession that might have at one point in time not made it into this profession.
At the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office.
Let's be real, police wouldn't exist if crimes don't exist, right? And you know what's crazy? Me having one foot in politics, one foot into the streets, I've noticed that these officers start getting out of hand. They start getting out of pocket when it's time for them to meet their quota. What I mean by that is that, they have to start making arrests in order to start getting paid. They need bodies in themselves. Judges need to have, criminals in front of them to charge. And if that doesn't happen, then all hell breaks loose, I guess, in politic world. Because I kind of noticed, and I think it's funny that around election time, it starts getting like this. Because if you notice, crime really does slow down for a minute. And then it starts getting out of pocket. But it really starts happening only around election time.
There is one vacant deputy position that's been open since the end of this past June. Sheriff Jack Campbell says although they are actively recruiting, they do have a smaller pool of applicants to choose from. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Julia Rosier. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. Sheriff Campbell also says when a deputy leaves or retires, it can take up to 8 months before the position is filled and the deputy is out working on their own.
Continuing our team coverage, more information about Sean Grayson's disciplinary record and issues in law enforcement are coming to light. Today, we received an audio recording of a conversation between Sean Grayson and a Logan County chief deputy. News Channel 20's Carson Gordy joins us after scanning through documents and audio recordings. Carson?
The conversation happened after Sean Grayson was involved in a high-speed chase that ended with him hitting a deer. It happened in November of 2022. Grayson had been a Logan County Sheriff deputy for 7 months. During the conversation, Logan County Chief Deputy Nate Miller questioned Grayson about inaccuracies in his police report and said he thinks he knows why his previous employer, the Auburn Police Department, did not prosecute multiple of his cases arresting people.
Why?
Sean, I'm going to have a hard, straight-up conversation with you right now. I have a strong feeling I know why they were dropped. They dropped your cases because of what I'm looking at right here. If we can't trust what you say and what you see, we can't have you in our.
So if they can't trust him, they can't trust what he says or what he sees, why did they decide to still keep him? See, something fishy up with this John. And this is the same police department where another officer shot down Terrell Miller. That is, Terrell Miller. What's his? Yeah, I think I am saying it. It is Terrell Miller. Sonya Massey's 4-year-old little cousin.
Our uniform.
Facts, Commander, facts.
He was employed for 5 months after this incident. Sangamon County hired Grayson right after he left Logan County. They said they were not provided these documents. I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Carson Grayson worked at 4 other law enforcement agencies before being hired in Logan County. Meanwhile, a grievance was issued against the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department by the Fraternal Order of Police's Labor Council on behalf of Sean Grayson. After an internal evaluation, the council says they are no longer pursuing the grievance.
County officials. Damn, like this feel like some cult type of shit. Like, yo, this is way more than officers needing to meet their quota.
Officials say they were not confused about if the gunshot that killed Sonya Massey was self-inflicted. These details come from Sangamon County's website with information on the death of Sonya Massey. County officials say they are aware the phrase self-inflicted was used by radio dispatchers. Officials also say former Deputy Sean Grayson stated at least twice in the body camera footage that he was the shooter.
They were saying it was self-inflicted initially, or it was some intruder who did it, but they never said it was law enforcement who did it.
County officials responded saying, quote, "We understood it to be a question by dispatchers initially," and quote.
So basically, like the lady showed earlier, they try to put the grievance form in on the same day that it happened, right? But it came out on the 18th. And if it wasn't for the footage being leaked, right, they was going to try to play this shit off. But too many people have seen the footage. I feel as though they was going to really try to play this shit off, because how they keep saying self-inflicted. Like if she had the gun and she just decided to sit here and just shoot herself down to death. Like, come on, man. This officer unalived this woman for no good reason over a pot of bubbling water.
No cover-up has occurred. And we are taking a live look now at the rally in Chicago in honor of Sonya Massey. Earlier today, Ben Crump, the attorney representing the Massey family, held a news conference talking about updates to the investigation. We will bring you that update as soon as they become available.
We are continuing to work for you and dig deeper into the death of Sonya Massey. More information about former Deputy Sean Grayson's disciplinary records.
Oh, ma'am, I appreciate that you continue to work, but you don't work for me. I don't have enough money to pay you. But let's continue.
And issues in law enforcement are coming to light.
Yeah, Grayson is facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder in connection to Sonya's death. He has pled not guilty to all of his charges and is set to return to court in August.
And as we just mentioned, Grayson, more is coming out about his record and the issues in law enforcement.
That's right. Today, we obtained an audio recording of a conversation between Sean Grayson and a Logan County chief deputy.
News Channel 20's Carson Gordy joins us with what they reveal. Carson?
The conversation happened after Sean Grayson was involved in a high-speed chase that ended with him hitting a deer, damaging a squad car.
7 months on, how are you still employed by us?
I don't know.
Sean, do you understand what I am saying?
Yes, I do, sir.
In November of 2022, then Logan County Deputy Sean Grayson had a meeting with the chief deputy, Nate Miller. It was over an incident that started with Grayson wanting to pull over a female who looked, in quote, suspicious.
100, she just took off on me. I just needed to wait for them to start the vehicle.
You were going to stop them for just their behavior in a vehicle?
No, I mean, I was going to wait for a traffic violation, but in my mind, that was the whole reason I was going to see what they were doing, was just the reaction of the female in the truck.
This led to a high-speed pursuit that Grayson was ordered to terminate.
Just for traffic, go ahead and just terminate anyway.
He ignored that order, going as fast as 110 miles per hour before striking a deer.
Well,
well, I'll definitely be terminated because a buck just smacked the side of my driver's side door.
After that event, Grayson was ordered to write a report that Logan County said had multiple inaccuracies. Grayson says he did not review the body cam footage before writing it.
You got a report writing violation for policy. You got an accuracy violation for policy. You got a standard of conduct violation for policy, and we're 48 seconds into this.
It seems like the whole department has a problem or an issue reviewing the footage before they sit here and talk. Because y'all really sitting here putting out a grievance form for this man when the video and the audio both show that this man killed this woman cold-hearted.
The chief deputy says that Grayson, while working at his previous job, the Auburn Police Department, arrested some people who were not prosecuted by the state's attorney.
Sean, I'm going to have a hard, straight-up conversation with you right now. I have a strong feeling I know why they were dropped. They dropped your cases because of what I'm looking at right here. We can't trust what you say and what you see. We can't have you in our uniform.
Grayson was warned that it's vital to be accurate.
But a lot of officers have been charged and end up in jail because that's what they.
So they know that this officer has a tendency of lying. But my biggest question is, right? How does he know the victim? Because somehow he knows this victim. In more than what we think. He knows this victim more than what we think.
Received. Official misconduct will land you in jail.
In the final report, Logan County did state that Grayson appeared to be honest during the interview and acknowledged his inability to recall from memory alone. Sangamon County hired Grayson after his tenure at Logan County. They said they were not provided these documents and were not aware of them. Both Sangamon County and Logan County did not comment on why they weren't exchanged when I reached out to them today. I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. We will have the full audio recording of this meeting on our website, newschannel20.com. That was a rally in Chicago in honor of Sonya Massey from this evening. Sonya's family members, attorney Ben Crump, as well as Reverend Al Sharpton, were all in attendance, chanting Sonya's last words, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." This, they say, they want Sonya's death to be a catalyst for police reform.
Just about an hour before this press conference, Teresa had that the police union withdrew their agreement to reinstate Deputy Grayson. That's what happens when we stand together. Justice for Sonya Massey.
That was attorney Ben Crump speaking to the public in the Chicago rally today. Civil rights activist, as we mentioned, Al Sharpton, also speaking there and continued to push for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. After the death of Sonya Massey, U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth has introduced a bill that would incentivize states' attorneys' offices to allow other agencies to prosecute cases of police-involved use of deadly force. She says it would help eliminate conflict of interest. The senator said in a statement, in part, quote, "Factors such as close relationships between local prosecutors and police departments can hinder independent investigations and impact the pursuit of charges and more convictions."
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Yo, I feel like there's corruption everywhere. Every way, like, it don't matter how you look at this situation. I feel like there's corruption everywhere, even with the senator. Is this a good thing? Factors such as close relationships between local prosecutors and police departments can hinder independent investigations and impact the pursuit of charges and convictions. I'm about to look into this.
We reached out to Sangamon County to ask whether state's attorney John Milhiser would have a conflict of interest prosecuting Sean Grayson and whether they support another county handling this case. We have not heard back at this time. The community is voicing their concerns over the death of Sonya Massey. The U.S. Department of Justice held a community healing and listening session to ask the community feedback on how to improve police communication with the county.
News Channel 20's Carolina Hassett has more on what residents are saying.
Many residents saying they are scared of law enforcement and are now afraid to call the police, with many pleading for things to change.
I live alone, and even though I already preferred not to call the police, I'm definitely not calling you now.
Several residents voicing their concerns over the death of Sonya Massey, with many saying they live in fear.
I'm nervous to be here. I am anxious to stand in this room because people are afraid and we're mad. And this should not be.
The U.S. Department of Justice asked the community how they feel about the recent events in Sangamon County and how they recommend improving police communications. Their recommendations included rebuilding trust by reviewing hiring and background check processes.
Something needs to change, and that change starts at the hiring process, which is done by you.
Other recommendations including mental health evaluations as well as drug testing for officers. But most importantly, the overall message was to vote for new law enforcement officials.
Drug testing. Do y'all have something that has to, they can spirit test? Like, y'all have something that can see if somebody has a demon tester? There you go, a demon tester. But shit.
We have to provide transparency. So do what you need to do and get up and down and vote.
Now, residents also asked that law enforcement be held to the same standard as other jobs, such as first responders, when it comes to the hiring process. In studio, I'm Carolina Hassett.
For most businesses.
Once again, guys, open panel. If y'all wish to come up, give your opinions, your perspectives, y'all more than welcome. Like, come up, say what y'all gotta say. Ooh, for a quick minute, this shit is deep. It gets deeper. And as the case unfolds, it gets even more deeper. Like, damn. Yo, I've gained some weight throughout the summer. I'm starting to see it. All right, here we go. I got more videos. Give me something. Hold on, baby. All right, here we go. I don't know if y'all seen this video, but for those of y'all that haven't, this is Sonya Massey's parents.
In early July, the 36.
This is Sonya Massey's parents speaking on how they called the police to get help for their daughter. So this conversation with the parents shows us that the police department knew of Sonya Massey's mental health history.
Now to the tragedy of Sonya Massey. In early July, the 36-year-old called 911, reporting a possible prowler. A sheriff's deputy sent to protect her instead shot her. The Sangamon County Sheriff's Department has now released several 911 calls related to the case, and here is some of the audio from those calls.
The mental people told me to call 911 because I don't want you guys to hurt her, please. Please don't send no combative policemen that are prejudiced, please. They're scary. I'm scared of the police.
I keep hearing stuff on the outside of my house, and it sounds like somebody was banging on the side of my house. I don't know. Could y'all come and see?
And Anna Schechter joins us now. She's CBS News' senior coordinating producer for crime and public safety. Anna, it's so hard to hear those knowing the outcome. Give us the sense of the timeline and the events from this shooting.
So at 9:09 a.m., her mother placed a call to 911 asking for help for her daughter. She was clearly having what she called a paranoid schizophrenic episode, and she was worried about her.
So as y'all can see, the parents been talking with the police department. They knew that this woman had a history of mental health, paranoid schizophrenia at that. So this officer was no stranger. That's why, he asked, how is your mental health? He asked her.
Her daughter, but as you heard in the clip, she's worried that officers coming might misinterpret what's going on and might actually hurt her. And so that is so incredibly chilling to listen to. She was begging them, don't send someone who's going to hurt my daughter. And so just that foreshadow, when we think about what ultimately happened, it's just heartbreaking. Around 1 p.m. that day, Sonya Massey made a couple more calls to 911. She was clearly disoriented. She was having an episode. And then late that night around 1 a.m., that's when we just heard that call. She believed she heard a prowler at her house and she called. And
now, when the officer was there, she did say that she just took her medication. Could she have been hallucinating from the medication? But my thing is, what is the connection between this officer, the fiance, and Sonya Massey? We're going to find out on the next video.
And then we have Sean Grayson and his partner arrive at her home. We've seen that video where they enter her home. In fact, it's interesting. One of the calls released, we heard 911 call her back and check on her. And she says, the sheriff's department is here. And the dispatcher says, okay, I'm going to let you go. And she said, no, please. I thought you were going to come. The sheriff's department's going to come. Like, hold on with me.
Yeah.
And that call then drops. And that's chilling.
That's true. She begged the dispatcher to stay on the line with her. She didn't want this officer's help. She wanted their help. She wanted somebody else to come. She feared this officer straight from the gate. As soon as she opened that door, she said, oh, Lord, please don't hurt me. He said, we're not going to hurt you. You called us. But I'm still questioning how fast these officers got there. By the time the dispatchers told them, they was already en route. They were supposed to be on another case, letting the dispatchers know that they were done so they could send them to this route. But the dispatchers didn't even let them know yet. See, it's questions to keep rising and rising.
And we know that that's just minutes before she's shot.
When she was shot, was it clear that the officer had, what did the first responders think had happened?
That's true.
Initially.
That's true, Commander. That's true. But you could tell that when, I know where you're coming from. I get it. I understand it. But on this one, I got to disagree with you because there was history between these officers and her. Then let's not forget that there was an officer from the same police department that gunned down her 4-year-old little cousin. This happened just now in July, right? And what happened to her cousin happened in March. So it's a little, what does Sonya Massey know? Her own son says that she was a sacrifice, but a sacrifice for what? Why were they going to sacrifice her?
We hear on the radio the first responders and even Illinois State Police saying, well, we've heard that this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So initially, the operating theory was she had shot herself. And in fact, the Massey family told us that they were initially told that she...
Initially. So if it wasn't for the body cam footage being leaked, and I don't know who leaked it, but shout out to whoever leaked it, they was going to cover this up.
Had shot herself, and only hours later were they ultimately told that a deputy had shot her.
Anna Schechter, thank you so much.
After this video, your life is...
Tell me after this video. What you gonna tell me about my life that I don't know? OMG, these ads. Oh, I got a video on that too. Should I show? You know what? Wait. Let me see. Yep. Let's watch the update on the 4-year-old cousin before I play the video that shows the connection between the officer, the nurse, and Sonya Massey. Here's an update on Sonya Massey's 4-year-old cousin. I was going to do, a separate, a different upload. But, I do a lot of reactions to Indisputable. He has an update. Shout out to Indisputable.
Has a family member. Sonya Massey, has a family member. She is shot dead. There's also a 4-year-old relative who was killed by the police as well. Put it up for Mass. In the weeks since the killing, in my opinion, the murder of Sonya Massey at the hands...
Oh, you correct. The murder
of an Illinois cop New details have surfaced about another police killing in the same state that claimed the life of a 4-year-old child named Terrell Miller, purported to be her younger cousin. Just 4 months before Massey's untimely death, Terrell Miller was fatally shot by a police officer in the western part of the state. Several social media posts began circulating that drew comparisons between the deaths of Massey and Miller. Some posts even alleged both victims were, in fact, related.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need one
job on the reporting of this. Atlanta Black Star did a great job on the reporting of this. Terrell was killed at his home on March 16th, which was 84 miles away from.
At Commonwealth Charter.
Oh, you want to mess with me too?
Sonya Massey has a family member. Both victims were, in fact, related. That drew comparison. Atlanta Black Star did a great job on the reporting of this. Terrell was killed at his home on March 16th, which was 84 miles away from Springfield. Police were called to his mother's apartment that night to respond to reports of a domestic violence.
Yo, ain't it crazy how this is happening in Springfield? Same city, Homer and Marge live in. Like, yo, you know what they're gonna say next, right? Simpsons predicted this. So I'm waiting to see who finds the episode of where the Simpsons warned us about this
dispute. That dispute escalated into a hostage situation. Body cam footage shows 2 responding officers break down the door to the apartment after hearing screams and cries for help from the apartment. That's where they discovered Terrell's mother, Kiana Miller, with multiple stab wounds. Now, I want to make sure I provide proper context at this part. The officers, when they heard the screams, they were well within their rights and privileges as a cop to enter, okay? Here's where it gets completely illegal, in my opinion. The officers escorted Kiana from the apartment. Her alleged attacker, 57-year-old Anthony George, retreated to Terrell's bedroom, okay? So the cops are walking her out. The child is still there. He then retreats to the child's room because the officers did not secure the apartment. George is seen using Terrell, the child, as a human shield and holding a knife to the neck of the 4-year-old and another blade around his waist during the confrontation with police. The situation then took a.
So that means that this guy, you know, he's tall. We're talking about a little kid, a 4-year-old kid. That means that this guy crouched down, all the way down, squatted down, whatever, however you want to put it, to put a knife around this little kid's waist and neck. How small was this officer? Because I feel as though like he must have had to pick up the young boy or something to even cover his face. Because we're talking about a 4-year-old. He's smaller than my 7-year-old. Way smaller. I remember when my daughter was 4. Like, wow. How did y'all shoot the baby and not the aggressor?
Deadly turn when one cop, not both, when one cop made the decision to simply shoot.
What?
That bullet passed through the baby first.
Wow.
And then shot George in the neck. Both of them died at the scene. Miller's attorney stated that only 16 seconds had passed between the moment the officers kicked down the apartment door and the moment the fatal shot was fired. She added that the officers never executed any de-escalation or negotiation tactics.
Oh yeah, these officers was already strapped and ready to kill, for real, for real. Like they have murder in their fucking mind.
If that was a white baby, does the white baby get shot too? You have to think about these things. This doesn't happen in other communities like it happens in Black communities. The immediate de-evaluation of life, not only of the 4-year-old, but also of the individual who's holding a hostage. Typically, if there's a hostage, what is your protocol? Hostage negotiation. Sir, everything's going to be okay. Calm down, sir. I'm going to step out. We're going to talk to you.
Facts on this situation, they needed Olivia Benson. Like, I don't know, somebody that, but the officer came in, knocked the door down, escorted the mom out, and all in 16 seconds, and shot the perpetrator with the victim, holding the victim. When they shot the kid, it went through the kid and into the victim's neck. So like I said, he must have been crouched down, holding the little kid, trying to use the kid. He had to lift the kid still. Why not shoot the boy on the fucking leg or something, like the foot? Pull out the taser, but then he had a knife around the young boy's neck. Okay, how do you de-escalate the situation? Not by pulling the damn trigger. This is what you call trigger happy cops. These are cops that, how can I say it, feel like they threatened. I don't know by what they feel like they threatened by. A 4-year-old? A woman holding a pot of boiling water that was already poured into the bucket of water and she was getting more water?
You get a professional in there. You save the life of the child. This cop decided, kill them both. Unlike Massey's case, however, prosecutors declined to criminally charge the officer who shot the baby. The findings from the state police official investigation into the shooting were then turned over to a special prosecutor who ultimately decided not to file charges. McDonough County state prosecutors, who often handle police cases from the county, wanted Terrell's case to be reviewed by the appellate prosecutor's office to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest, according to the Perea Journal-Star. After reviewing police reports, audio and video recordings of the shooting and use of force protocols, the special prosecutor, whose name is Jonathan H. Bernard, wrote a letter to the county state prosecutors stating that he found, quote, no basis for any criminal action or prosecution that is supportable under the facts of this case against any of the officers involved in this tragic incident, end quote. You know, at minimum, this is gross negligence. This is criminal negligence at minimum. This is involuntary manslaughter at minimum to the 4-year-old, for sure. According to this prosecutor, even though the cop violated a multiplicity of protocols and no other cop.
Do y'all believe that an officer that did what he did committed involuntary manslaughter? Or do y'all believe that he just didn't care? I mean, I don't know. Because goddamn, like it seems like these officers have a tendency of not following orders and disobeying the law and doing what they want to do and handling the situation their way, even if it costs the victim's life.
Saw it necessary to kill the baby in order to shoot the assaulter. Nothing happens to him. There's more. So what's unclear is how Bernard justified the use of deadly force that endangered a 4-year-old child. According to the Washington Post police shootings database, Terrell is the youngest child to be fatally shot by the police in that state since 2015. That's the year the newspaper began gathering police shooting data. Quote, I feel like Terrell would never receive justice. He died for nothing.
That's the year they started collecting data. So how many kids have really been shot that age or younger, or probably a little older, by cops that we don't know of? Because you're only telling us from, according to how long they've been taking data. And that's been since 2015. He's been the first 4-year, the youngest fatally shot by police in Illinois since 2015, since they started collecting data. How many cover-ups did they have before these body cams started coming out?
Keanu Miller told KHQA News. Terrell's mother said her son would have turned 5 July 18th. I'm sure that was a difficult day for her. She told an NPR radio affiliate that her family knows Massey's family.
Crazy. Her son would have turned 5 July 18th. But Sonya Massey passes away July 17th. What a coinky dinky, huh?
But both families are not actually biologically related, but they do know each other. I know her whole family. We've been knowing each other for some years, Miller told Tri-States Public Radio. She encouraged the community to continue protesting for justice for Terrell and for Massey. Years ago, Miller said,
So she was involved in the protest of getting justice for Terrell. This stuff gets deep.
She once had a horrific premonition that her son would actually die at the hands of police. I believe her. Let me tell you why I believe her. We've seen it right here on Indisputable. We have literally seen people say, please don't kill me. And then all of a sudden they're dead, even though they had no weapon, they presented no threat to the cop. Or they told their mother, the cop is going to kill me. Don't let him.
Shit, he not lying. Listen, man. I'm from Philly. I've seen it myself firsthand. I've seen officers arrest the victim and leave the perpetrator walking. And I'm sitting here like, wait. How in the world is you arresting the victim? And the person that committed the crime is out here walking. That's asshole backwards. I've seen it. I've seen shootouts between officers and civilians. Like just not so long ago, I have a video uploaded where the whole block here in my community was surrounded by officers because young boy decided, this somebody in their early mid-20s, almost 30s, right? Had a habit of popping pills. They pop Xannies, they pop perks to try to control their anxiety. They self-medicate. Even though a therapist should be giving them the medicine, right? But they self-medicate. They think that this is, what's going to help them. But I guess this day, this young boy decided to take some, what was it that he took? If I'm not mistaken, what was it that he took? I think he took, a shroom pill. I didn't even know what a shroom pill was. I thought shrooms were the mushrooms, but I guess they got that drawn in form of a pill. Hold on one second, guys. But like I was saying, oh, you're right. You're fat. I mean, listen, I say you speaking facts. You speaking facts though, but it's something more with this officer and the connection with him and Sonya Massey. We're gonna see in a minute though. But you're right on that part. I feel as though she saw something in this man spiritually. Her spirit saw the demon in this man. So you're right. You're right. Her spirit was telling her that something was going to happen. But it's deeper. So, like I was saying, right, the young bull was high off of shrooms. And what's crazy is, right, I got to give a shout out to the officers, some of the officers that were there, because there were some officers that was ready to fucking pull the trigger because young bull had a gun in his hand. And, you know, he was holding up a store hostage. He had the owner of the store, you know, at gunpoint. Everybody had to run out. He was in there, you know, like they seen it at first hand. He was in there acting shot out and crazy, blah, blah, blah. But they found a way to de-escalate the situation. But if it was for the first officers on the scene, they would have pulled the trigger instead of trying to de-escalate the situation. And there are a lot of officers. There's a lot of officers here that don't give a fuck for some reason. They just want to come out to the scene of a crime, or, you know, I don't know what else to call it. I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, there's another word for it. But they just want to come out on the field to just pull that trigger. They don't want to ask questions. For some reason, they're just always angry. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, listen, man, in the hood, you see so much shit. Yes, Sonya Massey had told somebody that she had a premonition that her son was going to pass away by the hands of a cop. Yep, Sonya Massey was the one with the premonition.
And all of a sudden, the mother gets that call. He didn't make it to the precinct. We've reported on those stories here. According to the Daily Beast, she was captured on video at a Black Lives Matter event in 2020, speaking with members of the Democratic Women's Group about a dream she had. So even though she said this on...
Yeah, Sonya Massey was speaking about her son. Like he just said, it was a 2020 Black Lives Matter event. And she was speaking about the dream that she had about her son.
On the public radio station recently, there's footage of her speaking in 2020. Okay. Quote, before I even had my son, I've been having this recurring dream that the police runs into my house and kills me and my son. End quote. Miller said in the video, some days I wish I was a whole other color. She says, some days I wish I was a whole other color.
Wow. She dreamed of this
to get a better chance at life. Why is she?
Yo, she had this dream in 2020. And we're in 2024 when she got shot down by an officer in her own home. This is crazy.
Saying that.
Yeah, shout out to Commander. Shout out to Commander, yo, real shit. Commander been on point. She understands this a little more. Like, where was Commander's comment at? Damn. There you go. It's crazy. Shout out to Commander. See, Commander is one of those that can also read spirits. I see that. Like, she been paying attention to the videos. I see she reading them spirits, yo. Like, for real, for real. It's not a bad thing. What I'm saying is a good thing.
Not for her sake. A better chance at life for the sake of her baby. She also talked of an encounter. She talked of an encounter she had with a police officer when she was pregnant with Terrell, who allegedly asked the gender of her baby before saying, I can't wait to arrest your son.
Okay, so I think right now he's talking about Jasmine F. Atlanta. Wait, he's talking about the family member of Sonya Massey now. She also talked of an encounter. So I guess he's talking about Sonya Massey and the lady because they was doing the Black Lives event. Yo, he just confused me now.
Miller's attorney claimed the officer who shot Terrell acted recklessly and urged authorities to investigate the case. Quote, we intend to hold the police department accountable for Terrell's tragic death and will be pursuing civil remedies. Attorney Marlene Serez said, this is not over. It doesn't have to be over. Let me tell you why. There has been no official prosecution, which means there's no adjudication. You do not have double jeopardy attached. He has not been found not guilty. There is nothing stopping a prosecutor with competent jurisdiction.
So that means the officer that killed her 4-year-old cousin could still be arrested. They could still press charges if they go deeper into the investigation and find out why he was so fast to pull that trigger instead of de-escalating the situation.
From bringing charges against them. Now here's a recommendation. File the civil suit, get him under subpoena, and also subpoena the records of his cell phone, his email, etc. And then get the testimony of those who heard him talk about what he did. I guarantee you, he told somebody, I decided just to shoot both of them. Now that's evidence for a criminal prosecution. All right, Mayor Mondale, thoughts here?
Yeah, and you know, I don't even know if we need the lawyer claiming that this man acted reckless, this police officer, because in 16 seconds, you made the assessment to kill a baby and someone else. And I think what people always say is, well, this person was acting criminal.
That's what I just said. How is it in 16 seconds this man, like, it makes no sense.
Criminally, a 4-year-old wasn't doing any damn thing.
Right.
It was in their room and now it's gone because 16 seconds gave this person enough to say, oh, I'm done with this. Kill them both.
Yep.
Kill them both.
And that's the reason we have a different protocol for a hostage crisis, because we understand the hostage is innocent. And you don't get more innocent than the hostage being a 4-year-old baby that was only in the apartment still because the cops did not.
That was being held with a knife on his throat. Like, once again, happy trigger cops.
Secure the apartment before leaving. All right, we'll bring updates as they come.
All right, so that was the update on Sonya Massey's cousin, Terrell Miller. May he have peace in paradise, y'all. All right. So this is gonna be the last video I'll show y'all of Sonya Massey, and we're gonna do the rally and the family speaking probably later on or tomorrow. Make sure y'all subbed up to me, because y'all know I do pop-up lives out of nowhere. But I want y'all to listen to this, right? This guy puts the connection together. I'm hoping I got the right video, because I know there's two guys that put the connection together between the officer, the nurse, and Sonya Massey. So listen carefully to what he says and let us shorty know what y'all think.
Information is starting to leak out in the cracks of this Sonya Massey story. Huh? Information is starting to leak out in the cracks of this Sonya Massey story. So I've been in these streets and I've been trying to do my homework. I've been Googling and everything. So I looked up who Sean Grayson's wife was, because she kept coming up a lot. Her name is Isabel Butterfield. Yeah. Did y'all look her up? Isabel Butterfield daddy, guess who he is? Isabel Butterfield daddy is Scott Butterfield. Huh? Scott Butterfield used to be a chief deputy of the sheriff department. Guess what Sean work at? Huh? Did you get Sean a job? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, that's not the only crazy thing. I looked up Isabel Butterfield and Sean Grayson, and guess what I found? They just got married October the 19th, 2024. Why? Because this is their registry list. I also found their Target registry list, and I ain't gonna lie, something a little fishy here. You mean to tell me that you gonna pay?
I'm dead that this man went as far as going to their wedding, the little wedding, what you call this stuff? You know how they got their little wish list and shit like that? I'm dead. Like, he went as far as going into that. Like, I wouldn't go there. Like, all right, I just want to know what was the connection, what connects them, what happened, what could have made this officer pull the trigger over the words, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. What demonic things does she know about this officer? I mean, listen, man, I keep telling y'all, I got so many theories, right, that could lead to this, but I need to look deeper into it because it's more to this. It's way more.
Pay $50 for a set of Harrington flatware, but you gonna pay $32.99 only for a damn toaster? And why the hell you got 2 cake mixing bowls on your damn registry? Who you think you is? A goddamn Anita Baker? We also did a little bit more digging and found out where Isabel Butterfield works. And y'all ain't gonna believe this. I started doing some digging and I realized y'all said that Sonya had on a hospital bracelet. I looked up the closest place where she could have got medical care to her house, an 8-minute drive away. And guess where we ended up at? Capital Community Health Center. And guess who worked there? Isabel Butterfield. Now the reason
8 minutes away, right, is the mental health institute where the nurse, the fiance, well, now they're married. So is his wife. They got married in 2024. So now it's more than just fiance. That's his wife. Right? And he was there with her. She has a hospital ban where, because she had left the hospital that day, that she sees once again, like, or because she thought she saw something. How did these officers get there so fast when they was at the scene of another incident? I'm not going to say crime. They was at the scene of another incident, but they was already en route when dispatch called in. And if y'all don't believe what I'm saying, go listen to the audio calls. I played the audio calls earlier. The audio calls are there. You just have to go back and catch the replay.
The reason this got me thinking is because I remember when this cop first walked up to the door, he said,
Doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure.
My medicine and stuff.
All right.
why would he ask her that just out the clear blue? And another thing that's kind of getting me up here in the mind, and this is just me now, this is nowhere else in TikTok, but I just want y'all to listen and hear me out. I'm thinking from the perspective of calling the police. If I called the police, why wouldn't I be dressed already? Now I know y'all don't know where I'm going with this. Could it be that something happened allegedly between Isabel Butterfield and Sonya Massey at that place, and she left and went home because she didn't even take the bracelet off? When she left and went home, could it possibly be that the police actually, especially Sean Grayson, who I'm talking about, actually caused the situation in the backyard, and then they took the call, which is why she didn't even have a chance to get clothes on? Because if I heard something in the driveway, wouldn't you?
Boom, 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 boom. Is the guy making sense or does he sound stupid? Who likes to drive 100 miles per hour? Oh, I know that. But Bull caught on to the same thing I caught on. You're at another incident, right? Dispatch calls. Like, y'all got to listen to the audio. They're at another incident. Dispatch calls in saying, let me know when y'all done, right? So, no, let me know when y'all done it, at the house that y'all in so that y'all could take this call. Officer Grayson says back to the dispatcher, already en route. He's there in a matter of minutes. Was he at the hospital already? You see where I'm coming from? Or was he already in her backyard? How did he get there in a matter of minutes? Y'all got to look at the timeline. That's what I'm saying. Like, if y'all go look at the videos that are surfacing, pay attention to the people that are breaking it down and search it up. Because listen, man, I had to do it. I had to do it to understand, because I'm saying, y'all, I'm looking at people like, what? And I was saying the same thing. I said it to a YouTuber. I said, yo, you do know that these officers, when he broke that John down, I had to go back myself. That's why I got all these videos. As y'all can see, I went and did my own research. Like, shout out to the content creators that put out the information they put out there that made it this easy for me to collect the information that I had to collect. Like, because trust me, it wasn't easy. So yeah, all this stuff is very questionable. The commander ain't wrong though, because I was saying the same shit. But you gotta go down that rabbit hole with this case. This is one of them cases since they're trying to cover it up. It's gonna look like this, it's gonna look like that, and it's gonna make you really question if you pay attention.
You automatically get dressed and at least try to be prepared just in case they try to come in the house? Wait a minute now. Y'all heard it here first. Something fishy is going on. All I'm saying is that Springfield, Illinois police need to look up the average call time, the average response time in the area, and then look up the response time of how fast Sean Grayson got there. This is really something that's coming together, and I think y'all need to look into this.
A lot of people are saying it. This officer was already at the scene of the crime. If y'all put the video, right, look at the video. Listen to the audio calls. I mean, the dispatcher call between Grayson and the dispatcher. And connect the timelines. Bull was in the fucking chick freaking yard already in less than damn 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. The hospital is 8 minutes away. What happened between Sonya Massey and this nurse? Did they get into it? Did the nurse send the officer after Sonya Massey? I mean, listen, I can't say more, but that's it. Bull speaking some facts on this, John.
Okay? So we're gonna stay abreast of this, but this is just a theory. This is just a theory. We're gonna update y'all as it go, but it seemed fishy to me that she didn't have clothes on and something was going on outside her house. Was it as soon as y'all got the call, y'all took it because y'all were in the area? We're gonna find out now. I'm just the messenger.
Guys, like that's all I'm gonna do for tonight, man. We're gonna leave the rally in the family conference for later on today or tomorrow. You subbed up to me, you will see when I come live. I do got some scheduled lives, but I'm gonna do part 2. I want to finish this before I get into my second live, so I'm gonna reschedule tonight's live, and I'm gonna make it into part 2 of this live. So I do have a scheduled live for today. I'm going to reschedule it once again. But thanks to everybody that came, showed support, those that helped us surely bring awareness, and much more, yo. This case is crazy. Shout out to Commander because she makes a lot of key points. She made a lot of key points today. But man, don't forget to say her name. Say her name loud and clear. Don't let them forget. Let that shit hover over their head so they can always remember. Like, this is not going to be the first time you see it. Like I said before, like, I don't know if y'all heard it already or came across it, but we also got the case of the old head that got into a shootout with the officers, right? And the old head that got pulled out of a vehicle, out of her own vehicle by 2 officers. Like, this shit is getting crazy. Like, yo, stay tuned to part 2, man. Let's react to what the family got to say. And like, y'all see, me personally, I feel like it's a setup. Nothing could change my mind. It's just the way all this is happening. The deeper you go into the case, it feels like on some real shit, there could have been some like little beef between Sonya and that nurse. And that nurse so happens to be the wife of the same officer that shot Sonya Massey in her own home. If y'all go back on my live, right, I show y'all and I point out to the part where the officer tells the other officer, he's pointing at the kitchen and tells the officer to go that way. It's like they setting themselves up, right? I feel like they were setting her up. They know that she was a paranoid schizophrenic. She was about to close her door and the officer came in right after her, asking her for ID. When he could have just took down her name. This officer went in the house He told the other officer to go over there. Then they told her to turn to go to the stove and turn that pot off because they did not want the house to burn down. Hold on one second. Well, the same officer that sent her over there feels some type of way when Sonya Massey says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He says, I dare you. She says, I rebuke you. No, what was it he says? She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He said, I dare you. I'll shoot you in the face. And then he did exactly that. He shot her in the face. Straight in the face. So, like, if you, like, listen, man, it's not hard to put two and two together for real, for real. It really isn't. Something happened in that hospital between Sonya Massey. Yep, you better not. But you better not what? She had already poured the pot of water out. It was already poured out. You heard it. If you go back on my live, if you catch the replay from earlier, you're going to see it, what I mean. Like, y'all will see why I keep saying what I'm saying. Like, this was wrong. Oh, this was wrong every way possible. Like, whichever way you look at it, the offer was completely wrong. I slowed it down. I played the part of the bull slowing it down. Like, you can see that Sonya Massey, right? Before she got shot, she had an empty pot of water trying to protect him. She already threw the water on the floor. You see it. The steam coming out. He shot her after that. She didn't go at him with the water. She didn't chuck the water at him. She didn't come running towards him with the water. She went back up when he got closer with the gun, threw the water on the floor, and used the pot as a shield. That's what she did. Like, it's messed up. It's real freaking messed up. And she did shut the stove off. That's why I said y'all got to catch the replay. They should have turned the stove off if it bothered them that much and they thought that something was going to happen. They could have turned that stove off. They were officers. But at the end of the day, yo, let's do part 2, right? And, I hope to see y'all. And let's, dive a little deeper into the Sonya Massey because it's really starting to look like a setup. Like, if y'all dig deeper into it, y'all will see how, like, the injustice in this. Like, let's get deeper into it later on, y'all. My daughter wants me, so I'm gonna give her some attention. I'm gonna play the song. I hope y'all enjoy the song, and I'm gonna see y'all later on. But I appreciate everybody that's been here. And listen, man, it's like everybody catch the replay. I broke the video down earlier. I even slowed it down when the officer was shooting at her. Like, it's crazy. She was really trying to use that pot of that empty pot because she had already emptied the water onto the floor. She was trying to use that empty pot as protection, as a shield. That's crazy. Like, that officer was wrong, man. Completely wrong.
These help us remember.
These battle scars.
Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded. Don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they want to do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes. This day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I want to share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that